Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody who's in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me or things sound or look bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I will shout out the two people who are in the building early if they please to feel like commenting. All right. Before we get started, I'm going to try to get another stream in tomorrow, probably around the same time, but I got some more clips dropping. So make sure you guys pay attention for the premiere window. When you guys see the premiere window, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, and that should give you an extra layer of notification to be able to be notified when you come to the stream. And also, as far as the notifications go, please make sure that you do the survey that is pinned in the comment section to help us get better or more noticeable notifications to everybody. All right. So what we're going to talk about tonight are some new details that have come out about TREN DE ARAGUA and about the situation in Springfield, Ohio, involving the rumors and allegations of Haitian migrants in Springfield. All right. So what we got here is a tweet, all right, from an individual named Colin Rugg. And it says, just in, former Colorado ICE director says Venezuelan gangs are setting their networks to launch all-out gang wars. All right, so people should be kind of aware of that, especially if you are a gang banger. You know what I'm saying? John Fabricator is sounding the alarm, saying the TREN DE ARAGUA gang has set up operations in the U.S. much faster than MS-13 did. There's about to be a big gang war, he told the Daily Mail. I believe they're setting up their network right now. These guys are setting up faster than MS-13 did. They're getting into these apartment complexes, and what they're doing is starting with prostitution. Prostitution is a big money maker. And the thing with prostitution is that it brings guys in that they can then sell dope to. These guys come in, they meet these Johns and shake them down. See if they want to buy buy drugs. They've started with moving these girls through. It's bad. Experts believe the TREN DE ARAGUA gang is imposing on the Bloods, Crips, and Sureños, which will trigger gang wars. So, that means that they're all throughout the Midwest, California, dealing with the Sureños. I'm not sure how nationwide the Sureños are. Bloods and Crips nationwide, you know what I'm saying? So, this, I don't know, man. It's not real good. It might be time for a career change, you know what I'm saying? Experts believe that the TREN DE ARAGUA gang is imposing on the Bloods, Crips, and Sureños. So they call these specific gangs out by name. The first video below was from a blank at Aspen Grove Apartments in Aurora, Colorado, according to Daily Mail, which is reportedly run by the gang. And if you guys are not familiar with the channel, we've been covering Aspen Grove Apartments. There's a lot of information in that particular area of content that the Denver Gazette puts out, and that's where we've been getting most of our information from. So we're going to take a look at this video clip that they have right here. It's 40 seconds long. Let's see what goes on it. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize the mic was off. When that first came out, none of the Denver officials were acknowledging it at all. Now they're starting to walk back on it and say, yeah, we need a little bit of help. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Young Nine. What's good with it, bro? So now next we got another report here. All right. And this report here is from an individual named Mario Nowfall. Okay. And these people just post this stuff up on Twitter. So, taking consideration, this is social media. I don't really like to get my information from quote unquote social media posts. Denver funneled C-19 funds to house thousands of illegal immigrants in shelters. Denver reportedly used federal C-19 funds to house thousands of illegal immigrants in shelters and motels, leading to crime spikes and evictions. Whistleblowers claim buildings have become magnets for violence, often involving Venezuelan gang members, and taxpayers have spent $70 million on this crisis. And as you guys know, the amount of money being spent on this crisis is wild, especially in places like Chicago, where they are now dealing with close to $1 billion budget. Nearby cities, including Castle Rock, are considering lawsuits to protect their communities. And we're going to get into some of those lawsuits eventually. All right. So we're going to take a look at this picture right here that they have. All right. And this is a screenshot from Colorado Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Migrant Support Grant Application, ARPA funding. The application period for this grant has closed. The Office of Preparedness within a Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management will fund qualified social service organizations, charitable foundations or trusts, nonprofit organizations, and government entities to provide humanitarian relief to newly arrived migrants. All applicants to this award must provide culturally and linguistically appropriate integration services that include housing and case management. Other eligible services are listed below, but no application will be accepted without housing and case management. The funding can be provided through June 30th of 2024. The maximum funding available for all entities is approximately $4 million. This funding is to support quote unquote newly arrived migrants who intend to call Colorado home, move out of emergency shelters into more suitable housing, and to assist them in becoming self-sufficient as quickly as possible. All right. So this is a lot of money. This is a big amount of money that's being given to these migrants for no reason other than the fact that they're migrants. These funds are authorized and budgeted through the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds, appropriated and otherwise made available pursuant to CRS 2475226, and funds that may be made available through CRS 2433.51623. All right. So again, like they just are rolling out tons and tons and tons and tons of money for these people. While when it comes to other things that other people may say they need, or other things that people would like to invest in their community from the government that they voted for, they're saying that they don't have the money. Yet they're willing to put the city under in many of these cases, because Mike Johnston just did his budget for Denver, and we'll be talking about that at some point. And it's a pretty lengthy budget. So now here, this one is from Nick Sortor, and it says, "Good evening from Springfield, Ohio." So he's in Springfield, Ohio. "I've spent all day so far speaking with locals that are fed up with being screwed by the Biden-Harris regime, who are supporting a migrant invasion of their town. Crime is up, tensions are rising, the situation is boiling over. People who have lived here for their entire lives are afraid to go outside. They're afraid for their friends and relatives. So many have been forced to leave the town. It's sickening. I've already seen so much in just the first day, and I have countless leads to investigate. I'll be here for the next several days, and my DMs are open. Please send any new leads or contacts my way. And anybody who is interested in this content, which at the moment seems like only 3 people, feel free to do the same over here. You know what I'm saying? I'll be here for the next several days. My DMs are open. Please send any new leads, contacts my way, and we will make sure the word gets out. The mainstream media is lying. The town is turmoil." So as far as the mainstream media lying goes, I would ask people to take a look at some of the videos that I've put on here and compare it to what you're hearing in the mainstream media, and you all can make your own comparison as to whether you feel the media is being honest or whether you feel like the media is lying. All right. So another situation that we got here is a brand new report. All right. And it is about a gang member arrested in Paris du Chien. I think, if hopefully I'm saying that correctly. All right. Real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share this stream to your social media. And when you share the stream to your social media, please make sure that you tag somebody in the video that you feel will be interested in this content. All right. So give me 1 second. I'm just waiting for my computer to pull this up. Shout out to Vovo. What's good with it, Vovo? You see nobody messing with me tonight. Give me 1 second. Let me just get this up here real quick. All right, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. There we go. There we go. Man, my computer is going super duper slow. Just bear with me, you guys. If y'all haven't smashed that like button yet, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if y'all haven't hit that bell, take a moment, hit that bell. All right, here we go. So we here finally. Hopefully, if you guys can see everything okay, just throw a thumbs up in the chat so I know that you guys can see. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger if I can. I shouldn't have done that. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's see. We just, it is what it is. We just gonna have to deal with it like this. So now here it says new details released about suspected gang members are arrested in Prairie du Chien. Okay, this was posted on September 9th, so not that long ago. All right, authorities have released more information about the suspected Venezuelan gang member who was arrested for domestic battery. According to the release, the Prairie du Chien Police Department is more confident about 26-year-old Alejandro Jose Coronel Zarati's connection with the TREN DE ARAGUA transnational gang. All right. So for the most part, they have basically confirmed this individual right here's gang affiliation. All right. Let's see something. So now here it says, and they've detained this information based on interviews, his tattoos, and information from federal law enforcement, engaging in a wide range of criminal activities, including human trafficking, illegal mining, extortion, kidnapping, and illegal drug trafficking, according to the U.S. Department of Treasury. The police department said that Coronel Zarate is the only suspect in the case and the person with possible connections to the TREN DE ARAGUA that they have had contact with. When Coronel Zarate was arrested, officers found fake immigration documents, including a U.S. Social Security card. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that if you have or are using fake documents and you're undocumented, that should be a cause for some type of punishment from U.S. Customs and U.S. Customs Services, immigration? If you guys think so, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think so, then give me a thumbs down. The police department said that he entered the United States in September of 2023. Coronel Zarate was brought to Prairie du Chien from Madison, and I believe they're talking about Madison, Wisconsin, because we're going to later talk about a situation where there's a government official in Madison, Wisconsin, who's speaking out about this stuff, around August 26th by one of the victims. Prairie du Chien PD said the victim was unaware of his violent tendencies, stating she holds no responsibility for the brutal assaults that she was subjected to after he arrived here. On Friday, Coronel Zarate appeared in Crawford County Court, where he received a $10,000 cash bond. Now, here goes my question. With the nature of his crimes, why was his bond only $10,000? Zarate is still in custody as of Monday. Authorities will not be releasing information regarding victims involved at this time. So here's my question for you all. Why do you all think that they wouldn't release any information about this individual's victims? I don't know how that would help any. Last time I checked, they were supposed to be as open, forthright, and telling everybody about this stuff as they could. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DeAndre. What's good with it, bro? Yo, make sure y'all throw some like enforcers in the chat. Or not like enforcers, but make sure y'all throw some thumbs up, flames, radiation in the chat for DeAndre. Appreciate you being here, bro. You see, look, y'all see it, right? I'm just saying, y'all see it. So I ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. All right. So now look at this. This is from the United States Department of State, the U.S. Department of State. They're offering $12 million in rewards for information leading to arrests and or convictions of 3 leaders of the TREN DE ARAGUA transnational criminal organization. This is back in July 11th. This is back on July 11th of 2024. And again, what's interesting about it is when it comes to politicizing things, right? They're talking about this in the political terms like it's not that big of a deal. But as you can see here, it's $12 million worth of a deal. How many people would agree? They talk about this like it's not that big of a deal. But as we're looking here on the screen and we see what's being offered by the United States Department of Homeland Security or the United States Department of State, this is $12 million worth of a problem. So the question then becomes, well, okay, which one is it, right? Up to $12 million in reward for offers for information leading to arrest and convictions of 3 leaders of the TREN DE ARAGUA transnational criminal organization. The Department of State, in coordination with the Department of Justice, is announcing reward offers totaling up to $12 million under the Transnational Organized Crime Rewards Program for information leading to the arrests and or convictions in any country of TREN DE ARAGUA leaders Hector Rutherford Guerrero, aka Nina Guerrero, he's worth $5 million. Johan Jose Romero, aka Johan Petrica, he's worth $4 million, and Giovanni San Vicente, aka Giovanni, aka Viejo, aka El Viejo, and he's worth $3 million. All right, so this is the total of all these amounts. The State Department rewards are offered in coordination with the government of Colombia and are also announced in coordination with the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control designation of TREN DE ARAGUA as a significant transnational criminal organization pursuant to Executive Order 13581 as assembled by Executive Order 13863. Now, here goes my question. I'm curious, is anybody aware of who signed those executive orders? Yeah. Shout out to DeAndre. I got to agree. Facts, bro. DeAndre says, bro, that's crazy. 12 million for these dudes. Right. $12 million, which means that they're pretty problematic. If you guys would agree that they're pretty problematic, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So what I'm interested in as far as it goes with the debates and all that and, you know, politics and all that, they didn't mention any of that in terms of dollar amounts, in terms of dealing with the migrant crisis, because I'm sure the funds from this are coming from taxpayers in some way, shape, form, or fashion too. You know what I'm saying? TREN DE ARAGUA is a transnational criminal organization that began as a prison gang in the Torrejon prison in the state of Aguara in Venezuela. Okay, so again, this is a prison gang. So we got to ask these questions like, how is there so many people from this quote-unquote prison gang to where it's become a gang that's operating all throughout the United States? So if it's misinformation about the fact saying that this gang allegedly came from a prison, how did they get so many people in one location to where they can form a nationwide network here in the United States? Over the past 6 years, all right, so this has been a problem for 6 years. TREN DE ARAGUA leader Nino Guerrero has expanded the group's criminal networks through South America and recently extended into North and Central America and United States. Through collaboration with the Colombian National Police, the United States believes TREN DE ARAGUA leaders Nina Guerrero and Giovanni are in Colombia. Investigation and intelligence further identified TREN DE ARAGUA co-founder Johan Petrica as another TREN DE ARAGUA leader believed to be in Venezuela. All right, so some of these guys, they don't even think that they're in the United States, but they're operating the TREN DE ARAGUA organization up here in the United States. Okay. The Colombian National Police have been very successful over the past year in apprehending many Tren de Aragua leaders and violent members in Colombia, including the June 27th arrest of Solomon Fernandez Torres, alias El Salomon, one of the leaders of Tren de Aragua in Bogota and Soacha. The following week, the Colombian National Police arrested TDA co-founder Larry Alvarez Nunez, alias Larry Chinga. The arrest of Fernandez, the mayor of Bogota, Carlos Fernando Galen, announced the primary objectives in Bogota would be to locate and arrest alias Giovanni and overall Tren de Aragua leader Nina Guerrero. Today's reward offers are authorized by the Secretary under the Department of State's Transnational Organized Crime Rewards Program, which supports law enforcement efforts to disrupt transnational crime globally and bring fugitives to justice. So now, when Kamala Harris said that she's the only person who's ever prosecuted quote unquote transnational gang members or transnational criminals, somebody should have asked her, well, how many members of migrant crime rings did you prosecute? And can you give us the docket numbers of those cases so that we can take a look and see what happened to them and where they're at right now? If you have any information, please contact the FBI and the CMP by the numbers that are listed here. All right. So again, this kind of validates the fact that this has been an ongoing issue that has not really been addressed. People have said things here and there in passing, but as far as actually dealing with the problem, not so much. So my question to you guys is, why do you all feel that they're kind of going about this in a half-hearted way? Because if you ask me, that's what it seems like. And another thing that it seems like is that they're going at it in a half-hearted way, and they really want to maintain tight control over the narrative on how this is discussed. Okay. So this here, as you guys can see, this is from Aurora, Colorado's government website. All right. They have a statement on the website, as you guys can see here, regarding Tren de Aragua. They have a statement regarding Tren de Aragua. So now, I guess the question that you would ask is, well, if this isn't that big of a deal as they're trying to blow it off and say that it's not, then why would the city have a website dedicated to Tren de Aragua? Why would they have a page on their government website dedicated to Tren de Aragua? Does that make any sense if it's not that big of a deal? If it's not that big of a deal, they wouldn't address it, right? So we could take a look here. Also, they have a statement issued by the mayor and council members for addressing the gang concerns. So we'll take a look at that. All right. The city and Aurora Police Department, as we previously stated, established a special task force in collaboration with other local, state, and federal partners to specifically address concerns about Venezuelan Tren de Aragua and other criminal activity affecting migrant communities. And I wouldn't just say that it affects the migrant communities. These are criminals who are in many cases part of the migrant community who are affecting the existing community, the quote unquote native community. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. We are grateful that the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, a valuable federal partner, has acknowledged its ongoing work into TDA across the metro and appreciate the additional resources it provided to combat this issue. We are aware, all right, you guys see this? We are aware that components of TDA are operating in Aurora. All right, so right on the website there, on the government's website, it says we are aware that components of TDA are operating in Aurora. That right there is a confirmation that there's at the very least a presence of TDA going on in Aurora. Now, here's the thing, right? They try to downplay any type of coverage on any type of criminal incident that takes place with TDA. But this is a criminal organization. So if you're aware of criminal organizations, the only way that you're aware that criminal organizations are there is because either the witnessing or report of crime being done. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says APD has been increasingly collecting evidence to show that the gang is connected to crimes in the area. However, as we have previously stated, and as the DEA similarly stated, it would be improper at this time for the city and APD to make any conclusionary statements about specific incidents or provide details about law enforcement strategy and operations. Based on our initial investigative work, we believe reports of TDA influence in Aurora are quote unquote isolated. All right. But however, that would be quote unquote isolated to Aurora. However, if you ask me, any influence of any crime that can be traced back to TDA by a criminal associate makes it not isolated, because you have a net total of TDA committing these crimes. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, then give me a thumbs down. We urge all community members, including members of our migrant communities, to please report crimes committed against them to their local law enforcement agencies and not remain silent victims. Crime victims can report crimes anonymously by calling Metro Denver Crime Stoppers at this number here. As always, information could change as the investigations continue at the local, state, and federal levels. On August 30th, Interim Chief Heather Morris and several officers connected with residents at the Edge at Lowry Apartments at Dallas Street and 12th Avenue to offer reassurances, provide updates on criminal activity in the area, and to learn about the living conditions at the complex. Below is an update from Interim Chief Morris. All right. So it looks like they have the video here, and then it looks like there is a there's a transcript. All right, and it's giving the names of the people that have gotten arrested, the TREN DE ARAGUA members. All right, so documented TREN DE ARAGUA members known to the Aurora Police Department. So that's kind of wild. So what we're about to do real quick is we're going to see how long this video is, and we'll take a listen to this video that's directly from the Aurora Police Department. All right, so let's see what they got.
I stopped by here at 12th and Dallas. Got quite a few of our officers out here that are out here tonight again. I've been out here for several weeks, making contacts with the residents, reassuring them about the criminal activity that's happening here and how we're going to address it. We're out here. We want to reassure the people that live in this community that we are actively investigating criminal activity that's happening and listening to them to so that we can learn anything that we're missing. You know, what are we missing, and actually find out what exactly is going on. We're out here because we care. I mean, nobody should be wearing this uniform if they don't care. And we want the residents and the people that live here to know that we care. We've been talking to the residents here and learning from them to find out what exactly is going on. And there's definitely a different picture. I'm not saying that there's not gang members that don't live in this community, but what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex. We've really made an effort to the last few days to just really ask the specific questions of the gang activity and who's actually making sure that people aren't paying rent to gang leaders or gang members, that's not happening. And we've discovered here today and yesterday talking to so many residents.
Okay, so now as far as that being quote unquote not the case, as you guys know, there's a conflicting report that came from the Denver Gazette, and when we get into some of our articles from the Denver Gazette, we might see it. But the Denver Gazette said that there was a law firm that actually did an investigation, and according to this law firm, the law firm found evidence that there were payments being given from the tenants of that apartment complex to quote unquote gang members. So again, this is what the Denver Gazette has said that's in conflict with what the police supervisor here is saying.
We've been talking about, and they've been sincere with us. We really believe that they are sincere with us. And we're standing out here, and I can tell you that gang members have not taken over this apartment complex.
Okay, so you guys hear that, right? Make sure you guys clip that. What she can tell us is that quote unquote gang members have quote unquote not taken over the apartment complex. All right, so we're going to hold her to that. All right, we're going to hold her to that. All right. So now next what we got is this, another posting on the City of Aurora website. All right, and this is the mayor, as you guys can see here, the following statement from Mayor Mike Kaufman and Council Member Danielle Jurinsky. And as you guys know, those are the two individuals from Aurora who have appeared on Fox News in some of the videos that we reviewed. Okay, this statement was posted, as you guys can see here, 9/11. So this is just 3 days ago, right? New info that, as you guys can see, only 5 people are interested in. All right. The following statement from Mayor Mike Kaufman and Council Member Danielle Jurinsky, Chair of the Council's Public Safety, Courts, and Civil Service Policy Committee, with the full endorsement of City Manager Jason Batchelor and the Aurora Police Department, addresses new information related to the ongoing discussion of the presence of TREN DE ARAGUA in the region. We would like to clear the record about the widely reported presence of TREN DE ARAGUA in Aurora and across the metro area. We want to provide an update about the facts of the situation and the Aurora Police Department's collaborative ongoing efforts to investigate and aggressively pursue the criminal activity linked to TDA members and its associates. Now, here's the issue, right? If you guys notice, there are some things that are just not really being said or not really being spoken about in the same fashion of the way that things are not really being said or spoken about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, which is concerning because I got this feeling that when it comes to about 2-3 months down the road, some information with some very different pictures than what's being said right now is more than likely going to come out. All right. And of course, you know, it'll be what it is at that time. You know what I'm saying? The city's duty is to make sure it gathers and presents factual, accurate, and comprehensive information about any issue affecting the community. We reiterate that the safety, security, and well-being of community members and visitors is of paramount concern to us and the city. As for the perception and reality of public safety in Aurora, please understand that issues experienced at a select few properties do not apply to the city as a whole or large portions of it. TDA, quote unquote, has not taken over the city. And again, if you guys see anything that says that TDA has taken over the city, please make sure that you post it into the chat, post it into the comment section after the video. If you're part of the Discord, show it to me so we can review it and compare it to the information that we have. Shout out to my man Leonard D. Yuta. What's good with it, bro? Good to see you as always. And shout out to y'all watching. If you guys haven't hit that like button yet, please take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and also please share this video to your social media and tag somebody who you are interested or who you think will be interested in this. All right. The overstated claims fueled by social media and through select news organizations are simply not true. Again, TDA's presence in Aurora is limited to specific properties, all of which the city has been addressing in various ways for months. For some time, well before concerns about TDA in Colorado generated national attention, APD has been arresting people for various criminal activities who had been suspected but not necessarily confirmed TDA connections. To date, APD has now linked 10 people, as we saw in the last on the last page, and has arrested 8 of those people. 2 of the 8 individuals who were taken into custody were involved in a July shooting at one of the specific properties in the city that has experienced issues with TDA's activity. In line with these arrests, we can now confirm that criminal activity, including TDA issues, had significantly affected those properties. I would assume so. A new and more comprehensive information is linked here in a summary of documented members of TDA known to Aurora Police to date, and we encourage everyone to thoroughly review. So I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. APD and its partners will continue to make arrests, seize weapons, and collect evidence. They will keep working to put criminals in jail. So now, again, here's the question, right? Now, in Aurora, I don't think that Aurora is a sanctuary city, right? But let's just say, for instance, this was in a different city, and that city that this was in happened to be a sanctuary city. If this was in a sanctuary city, then you got to ask, how would they be able to complete these operations with ease? How would they be able to do it? You know what I'm saying? And the reality is that they wouldn't. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the chat. So anybody watching that watches the replay up to this point and you hit the live chat, if you want to reference the info that's being talked about, it's right there. And shout out to the people in the Discord. In the Discord, under where the notification goes out for the YouTube video, under the YouTube video, I will tag this link. All right. So give me 2 seconds. Let's see. All right, let me see. All right, so anybody that wants to reference it, it's right there. All right. So now next, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these mass deportations that Trump claims that he's going to do. He says that he's going to have the largest mass deportation operation in American history. Now, here's my question. Where do you think he's going to start with for this deportation operation that he claims that he's going to have? And do you think that he's just politicizing this to get votes? Because here's the issue. It makes sense to say that, right? But how are you going to actually do it and bypass it with these sanctuary cities pushing back on you? Because I'm sure the sanctuary cities, that's when the sanctuary cities are going to say, well, we have state rights. And they're going to try to exercise their state rights to stop from the federal intervention. So then what's going to end up happening is this stuff is going to end up getting tied up in court. And as a result of it getting tied up in court, nothing is probably going to get done. That is how I could see this happening. So that's my question for you guys. What do you think about that? And again, my apologies for my computer moving so slow. I got a video editing in the back that I thought was actually going to be done by the time I did the stream, and guess what? It's still going. All right, so now here it says Trump says largest deportation in history to begin in Aurora, Colorado. So nobody guessed. So there's the answer, Aurora. Republican candidate Donald Trump on Friday promised to execute the largest deportation in American history, which he said will begin in Aurora, Colorado and Springfield, Ohio, two cities in the middle of a political firestorm following requests of a Venezuelan gang infiltrating apartment complexes in the former and claims of immigrants eating household pets in the latter. Okay, so Trump has spoken specifically to voters, and what he has said to the voters is that the first places that he's going to start the mass deportations in are the places Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, which I think is very interesting because, some of the border states have been dealing with this situation first, right? Like, what's interesting about it is that Texas and California and Arizona and some of those places out there are probably the places that got the worst issues because they're right on the border, and especially Texas. Trump has a political ally there, and Greg Abbott. And Greg Abbott going to deal with these two cities, Aurora and Springfield, which have less migrants than Texas, Arizona, California, New York, and Chicago. But Trump's order of operation is to hit those two cities first. If I was people, I would in New York or Chicago, or if I was somebody in Texas, I would question, well, how did they skip to the front of the line? And we know how they skipped to the front of the line. They're the hot button issue. So that's what he's going to talk about. I don't think I think people should say something about that. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says we're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country, and we're going to start with Springfield and Aurora. Trump said at a press conference at his golf resort near Los Angeles. We're bringing them back to Venezuela, the former president said, asserting a new notorious gang that the new notorious gang from the troubled South American nation is taking over cities. In a statement, Aurora didn't directly address Trump's comments. Instead, the city said it would leave immigration matters to the federal government, which basically says if Trump becomes the president, then they're in support of what he plans on doing. It's the responsibility of the appropriate federal authorities to enforce immigration law. APD's focus is the enforcement of state and local laws. Beyond this, we are not in a position to engage in speculation, the police department said, which I find interesting because if the state sanctuary city laws are overstepping federal immigration law, then it would seem like the answer to all of those things should make sense of the order of operations of how that would go in terms of who would be able to do what. But for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it is with a lot of these people. The police also sought to allay fears about criminal activities at two apartment complexes affected by gang activity. The city's new police chief, Todd Chamberlain, this week toured the Whispering Pines and the Edge at Lowry to get firsthand perspectives of the living conditions and to speak with residents about life at the apartments. APD has been and continues to be dedicated to investigating criminal activity throughout the city, in addition to targeting those who are victimizing our migrant community. APD is not concerned about a person's immigration status and does not enforce federal immigration laws. The department's mission is to make Aurora safe and a vibrant community for all residents, the department said on X. Colorado's third most populous city has been the focus of national and international media attention in the past several weeks following revelations of an international gang's activities in 3 apartment complexes. The city took center stage anew on Tuesday during the first presidential debate between Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, with the former president blaming the Biden administration's border policies for the presence of TREN DE ARAGUA, a gang that originated in the Talkin prison in Venezuela, in some of the American urban centers, including in Metro Denver. So now, again, we got to ask this question, right? Who would you all blame this situation on? If you all blame this situation on the Biden administration, give me a thumbs up. If you don't blame it on the Biden administration, then let us know exactly what caused this situation outside of the Biden administration. All right. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't hit that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, hit the bell twice. And also, please share the stream to your social media and tag people that you know who you feel would be interested in this. The gang is linked to criminal activities, including human trafficking, particularly of immigrant women and girls, drug trafficking, kidnapping, and money laundering, among others. In Metro Denver, the gang's members have been accused of a jewelry heist, beating, shootings, and barging into apartment units with rifles. And I don't know if we can really call that barging into the units with the rifles accusations. I mean, it's right there on video. They got the video of it. Shout out to DSB. What's good with it, bro? They got the video of it. You know what I mean? So I don't know how they can consider it accusations. Initially, Aurora officials dismissed the assertion by a property management company that the presence of gang members precluded it from doing its work at the apartment complex and that it feared for the safety of its staffers and residents. So again, what it says here is that the property management company had came out and told law enforcement, and law enforcement kind of just blew them off. The city called it an alternative narrative to the numerous code violations and the poor condition of the building. So now what we've come to see is that what it seems like is that it's both. Okay. It seems like it's both. And you know what? I think I actually deleted one of the articles that I had up here. This was it. So I'm gonna just pull that. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna actually pull this over here. And all right, there we go. Okay. So my computer is going super duper slow. So as you guys can see here, again, I'm not just making this up. The city literally just blew it off. The city called it an alternative narrative to the numerous code violations and poor condition of the building. Okay. So they weren't trying to buy the story. And when they did buy it, it was too late. All right. So now here it says officials began walking back their statements after a video of armed men barging into an apartment unit surfaced and a catch of letters from a law firm representing CBZ management written a month before the federal government acknowledged TDA had extended its tentacles into Denver became public. So this is one of the reasons why I say when it comes to that situation in Springfield, if the government in Springfield works like the government, the way that we see this government here working, of reports comes out at a slightly later date, probably like 2 to 3 months down the line. Because by the time 2 to 3 months down the line gets there, there'll probably be so many recurring incidents that have piled up. Now they'll be forced to admit to it because it just won't make sense otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says each new revelation, and there have been several, only serve to raise public safety concerns and amplify election year questions about the border crisis and illegal immigration. All right. More recently, national law firms that investigated the claims said through violence and intimidation, the gang took over Whispering Pines and sought to collect up to half of the rent from leaseholders, drying up collections for the landlord, according to a law firm's investigations. The law firm's letter, for the first time, offered an explanation why the landlords appeared to have deserted the residence. The property manager also shared that since TREN DE ARAGUA took over the property, management has been unable to service it, and rent collections have all but dried up. All right. On Wednesday, Aurora officials also admitted that authorities had arrested people suspected, though not yet confirmed at the time of their apprehensions, of being members of a Venezuelan gang operating in the Metro Denver long before the media put spotlight onto the city. Okay. The gang's activities also significantly affected apartment complexes in the city, officials acknowledged. To date, authorities have linked 10 people to the gang and arrested 8. And if you ask me, that's a lot. That's more than I'm comfortable with. In a joint statement from Mayor Mike Kaufman and council member Danielle Jurinsky, the officials maintained that the gang issue was localized and limited to a few areas. All right. And so we don't need to read this because that is directly from that Aurora website that we just read. Okay. So next, what we're about to do is we're going to take a look at this video here. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this video is addressing some backlash that has been received as a result of this being brought up at the debates. There's a lot of people that are really upset that this was brought up at the debates. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to take a look at what they're saying here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this up on the screen. Let's see. And we'll go from there. All right. All right, let me just fix this real quick. Boom. All right, here we go.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
These comments from former President Trump took the country by storm after Tuesday's presidential debate, sharing a rumor that Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, ate other people's pets. Officials in the area say there is no evidence to support that, but there has been growing tension surrounding the issue, specifically in 2023 when 11-year-old Aiden Clark was killed in a Springfield bus crash, one that involved a Haitian immigrant who had a driver's license that was not valid in Ohio. ABC 10 News reporter Moses Small sees how San Diego's Haitian community is reacting to the comments and the tension.
The kind of food we cooking, I cook rice and beans.
Mark Jean-Pierre has owned Haitian restaurant Caribbean Pleasure in San Diego for 12 years, but house pets have never been on the menu.
We cook fried pork, goat, fish, rice, vegetables. We never do that. We never eat no cat, no dog in Haiti. But when he said that, he make us mad. It make us thinking who we are, how we can embrace ourselves in this country right now.
The rumors about Haitian immigrants eating pets started with unsubstantiated happened in Springfield, Ohio.
Now, what's interesting about this situation is I was actually watching a video from earlier and I was considering reacting to it on this channel here because it's appropriate to this content right here. And what was interesting about it is that it said that in Florida, there have been reports of Cuban migrants, quote unquote, eating cats. And I've never heard of that before until now. And the guy who was doing the video about it was really upset that there was all these reports of what's going on with the Haitian migrants, and he was upset. He said, well, I'm kind of upset that we've been ignored because we have this problem with these quote unquote Cuban migrants eating cats down here. And I was like, wow, that's wow. I never even heard of that. So if you guys come in contact with any information about any quote unquote Cuban migrants or anything like that eating cats in Florida, let me know, send it to me, shoot it to me in a Discord, or something. Shout out to DC Precise. What's good with it, bro? DC Precise said, did you see the hotel in El Paso story? No, I didn't see it. Yo, put it in the Discord if you see it. You know what I'm saying? And tag me in it.
The town's police department and city manager say there's no evidence supporting any of it. Even so, social media posts like this one from Trump's Robb event got millions of views on social media before the former president himself repeated those claims on the debate stage.
They're eating the dogs that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Since then, bomb threats forced Springfield, Ohio City Hall to evacuate on Thursday, and some schools there have been closed for 2 days in a row.
So now, how many people have heard about these bomb threats? We'll either get into those bomb threats at some point later on in the stream tonight, or at some point in the stream that we do tomorrow, or I might just make a standalone video about it. We'll see.
Leading the city's mayor to call for the comments to stop.
These rumors are they're just not true. You know, Springfield is a beautiful place and your pets are safe and so.
Happening states away, St. Pierre says the rhetoric feeds into
Two jobs to make a pay tax on this country. I am there one. My husband one there one. We both working two jobs. Sometimes we don't see each other. We not give up. We not give up. We continue here. We do good. We continue to work. Judge Jesus coming. All right. It is.
Moses Small, ABC 10 News.
All right, so there's that. Okay. So now next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at a little video from Fox 31 Denver. All right, and this video clip here from Fox 31 Denver is talking about Trump and his promise of mass deportations, and the councilwoman from Aurora, Danielle Jurinsky, she's reacting to it with the news. So we'll see what that's all about. All right, just give me 1 second.
First here at 9, President Trump bringing up Aurora on the campaign trail again today.
At this time, the city saying that he will see mass deportations if he's elected. Fox 31's Nate Bell joining us now with the very latest. Nate.
Yeah, guys, those comments came from Trump at a campaign stop in California this morning. He was, again, as you mentioned, saying that there would be mass deportations here in Aurora. The comments came after a question about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. Local leaders and activists had mixed reactions to what the former president had to say.
We're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country, and we're going to start with Springfield and Aurora.
Comments from the former president and have people around the state talking. Aurora City Council member Danielle Jurinsky says she would welcome help from the national level.
We cannot move forward without federal assistance. It's too much.
Jurinsky says specifically she hopes Trump's plans would focus on gang members and not the migrants who are here legally.
The ones that are here that have committed crimes, that are in and out of our jails, that are currently held in the ICE detention facility, it would be great. It would be great to have some federal help in getting them out of here.
Raquel Lane Ariano with the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition believes, however, that any mass deportation would likely go beyond convicted criminals.
Whenever an immigration policy is passed, it will be enforced against, typically the entire community. Everybody faces the consequences.
And says previous attempts at mass deportation have caused fear in the migrant community that she doesn't want to see return.
We don't want a community where people are afraid to call the police when they're suffering from domestic violence because they might get
feasible in a.
I think that the priority should be to make sure that the people of the city are safe. If you guys agree that the priority should be to make sure that the people of the city are safe, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down.
Statement, city leaders say it is the responsibility of the appropriate federal authorities to enforce immigration law. APD's focus is the enforcement of state and local law. Beyond this, we're not in a position to engage in speculation.
Both Jurinsky and Lane Ariano say that they point on the campaign trail, with Jurinsky saying that the violence and the gang members in Aurora is not widespread like it's been made out to be. Reporting live in Aurora, Nate Belt, Fox 31.
All right, so there's that. All right, so let's see what we got next. And of course, my computer is moving slow. All right, so now next, we're going to take a look at a longer video that's talking about the mass deportations that Trump says that he's going to do. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a excerpt of a ABC News clip. So let's see what they do. And again, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media.
Former President Donald Trump holding a press conference today there in Rancho Palos Verdes, overlooking one of his golf courses there in California. About an hour and a half, I think he's been talking now on all types of issues. I want to bring in, see if we can move on, Catherine. The big thing here, I hear, is he's been talking a lot about those FBI statistics that were cited in the debate. He says those aren't true. Those are fake statistics. The crime statistics, if you will, that is just not accurate. He's been bringing that up a lot as it relates to Moran, I believe, about Springfield, Ohio, and obviously the claims that are being made there about immigrants and eating of pets. And he essentially pivoted there and didn't really address that, didn't address the fact that the schools have been shut down, and then went on again to talk about immigration, citing numbers that you hear him cite at a lot of different events. He was asked about, Kira, what we've been talking a lot about today, Laura Loomer, a far-right conspiracy theorist who has pushed conspiracies about 9/11 theories relating to Harris. He was asked specifically about that. He said, and I'm just going to read what I wrote down that he said. He said, Laura's been a supporter of mine. She speaks very positively of the campaign. He kept saying he doesn't control her, and then going back to the fact that she's a supporter of 11 and about Harris. And he said, oh, well, I don't know about those. I'll have to see those. I'll put out a statement later today. But as you can see, he's still there taking questions, Kira.
All right. Appreciate it, Catherine. Thanks so much. And it's something Catherine did mention and that we've been talking a lot about, and that's Trump's campaign rhetoric targeting Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. He continues to say things. It's remaining in the headlines, and we see it even more important to add more context to the conversation, because Trump and vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance have both made unsubstantiated claims that Haitian immigrants are eating people's pets. The city's mayor says he now believes that rhetoric has contributed to an impact on the Haitian community, with bomb threats leading to school closures there in Springfield. Now, both the mayor and local police have said that these claims are false, but now the claims just continue to be made today, even amid all these threats. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, who represents Ohio in the Senate, posted about what he said was a rise in diseases, crime, and rent in Springfield because of immigrants. President Biden weighing in just a little while ago as well from the White House. Here's what he said.
So many Americans like Karine, as he pointed out, a proud Haitian American community that's under attack in our country right now. Simply wrong. There's no place in America. This has to stop what he's doing. It has to stop.
Join me now, Florida Congresswoman Sheila. Congressman, I'm so glad that you stayed with us. I know the former president was talking for a while, but we just really felt it was so important that you stay with us and address just a headline that's been hurting a lot of people, creating a lot of controversy, and now the town of Springfield, Ohio. You were listening as well to the former president reiterating those claims. Our Terry Moran pressing him on it. He didn't get into it any further, just saying the real threat is happening at the border. So I guess my first question to you is, are you worried that this rhetoric will lead to violence?
Absolutely. This rhetoric is not only fictitious story how Haitian people are coming into the country illegally and capturing animals and eating it and doing all kinds of crazy practices. But I think what's the most harmful is how he keeps trying to stroke fear and saying everybody's scared. You should be scared because they're coming for your animals. We already know that this is totally false. But what makes it worse is that he's a divisive person who's really trying to lean into a dark time in our country and trying to make us feel like we can't trust our neighbors. We can't trust the migrants who are coming in, that they somehow are coming here to hurt us. But the truth is that Haitian people are hardworking people. The people who we have in Ohio are actually people who came from Haiti through a legal pathway, and they actually have working papers. And they came from Haiti not just to flee the country because of the political instability, but they came to the United States, in fact, to enter into a mutually beneficial relationship in which they can come here, work to help the country, working in different fields and industries, or fleeing persecution. And that's what Haitian people do when they come to the United States. For too long, we had racists and we had bigots come into this country and talk to people and say that Haitian people are here to hurt the country. But the truth is, as a Haitian American and the only Haitian American in Congress, I can tell you that's far from the truth. We've never eaten cats. I've never gone to a Haitian restaurant and saw cats on the menu or any kinds of animal. That is completely false. We have to put an end to this narrative, these scare tactics, and talk about who we really are as Haitian Americans and what we come to this country to do. And that is to help serve and help protect this country. And
I think that is interesting on the news when there's issues that are directly affecting the Haitian community, but then they'll also find a Haitian person to pose as a Black American. I think that that's kind of interesting that they're able to do that with all of the search tools and recruitment that they have available. I would be curious as to how that always turns up happening. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. I think it's interesting that that happens.
And build up this country.
So well put, Congresswoman. Thank you. And I wanted to point out that you did grow up a child of Haitian migrants or immigrants, rather. And
yeah, shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise says, "Why did all of these reports pick up right before the debates, especially now that you mentioned the Cuban thing?" This is what I was talking about. I don't know if you guys watched the debate with me that night. There was a lot of people that was watching that debate. But when Trump brought this up, if you ask me, just the way that he brought it up, and just the fact that there wasn't a lot of available information about it, I wouldn't have brought that up, because the thing is that anything that's unsubstantiated, what they're gonna do is they're gonna take it and then they're gonna make it as if he's spewing conspiracy theories. And they're going to take all of the parts that are wrong and none of the parts that are right and not clarify anything and use it to push the narrative that he's just a screaming, crazy dictator madman. And that's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So as far as this goes, because all of the media, for the most part, is state-sanctioned media and it's all biased towards the Democrats, they're going to take the narrative and spin the story to where it's a Democrat-friendly narrative and continue to bombard people with that message. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that this is a result of him doing that. If you ask me, that was his, despite the fact that it was 3 against 1, it was Kamala and friends versus Trump. The fact that this ended up happening, this is really bad for him, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that this would happen if something like that happened. And this is just, here it is right here. It's just a mess. They're going to do this nonstop. And another reason why they're going to do this nonstop. And again, if you think about it, right, this entire media storm is still not even based on anything of substance that Kamala Harris said in the debate, which shows how substanceless she was. Even Trump's negative comments get more shine, more publicity, and more conversation, you know what I'm saying, being brought about than Kamala Harris moments where she did anything right in the debate, which are not very many. So that's another thing to pay very close attention to. And again, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this was just a issue with the debate. I wouldn't go as far as to say that this is just an automatic, you know, it's an automatic end of sentence for Trump's campaign. But what I would say is that it's a major and unnecessary feedback, or unnecessary hurdle that he's going to have to overcome. And it could have been avoided. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you have a tight race and when you're doing something as important as running for the president, you don't really have time to make these type of errors. Shout out to Shatera. What's good with it, Shatera? And this was a really bad error that he made. And you guys are just seeing the results of it. I mean, I'm going to be having videos up. I hate to, people be weird. Y'all know how people are, you know what I'm saying? They subscribe to the channel and then they don't watch the content or whatever. But I mean, you know, it don't matter, because I'm going to be putting up videos about this exact same stuff repeatedly. And the reason why is because this reiterates my point. This was a bad hill to die on for Trump. If you guys would agree this was a bad hill to die on, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that it was a bad hill to die on, then give me a thumbs down. He's the only one from the debate that had a quotable. The entire week of news is literally based on just this one moment, this one soundbite. Nobody really talking about anything else. That's wild. You know what I'm saying?
This rhetoric and these stereotypes, why do you think these claims are getting so much traction? And where do you think it comes from? The essence of these claims, where do you think it's being pulled from?
Well, these are old historical stereotypes that they had that were really built at a time to dehumanize Haitian people when Haitian people actually were coming into the United States. We saw a time where they said Haitian people eat dogs, they eat cats. They were trying to fearmonger people against Haitian people entering. So these are some of the same racist epitomes that they had before, where they try to dehumanize. But we've seen this before. Even before, when they talked about Black people in the past, they had dehumanizing tactics. When they talked about Jewish people, dehumanizing tactics. So we can no longer see Haitian people or migrants for who they really are. They actually are like us. If something was to happen in the United States and we need to live a better life, we would hope that another country would allow us to come in for that medium, for that time. And so we need to start looking at our brothers and sisters who are coming into this country. And I have to say this, these are legal people. They have stayed at home, they applied, they came here through legal mechanisms. They actually have an education. They're coming into the United States. Some of them are actually doctors who are waiting for them to pass their boards to practice here, and they're actually working at a factory as they're waiting. Some of them are actually coming and they have other professions. And we just need to be realistic about who we're.
As far as them saying that everybody came over here legally, that's not true. They're legal now. The situation with a lot of these migrants, how it works out is it's the same way as if you bought some marijuana when marijuana was illegal to buy and you committed a crime by buying the marijuana because it was a criminal offense at the time, and then you decide to smoke it after they've made medicinal marijuana legal, but you bought it while it was a crime to buy it. So what ended up happening with a lot of this situation with these people is that they did not enter the country legal. They still committed a crime. What's happened is that time has passed and the legislation requirements of people being able to stay in the country under certain criteria has changed, and now it's legal for them to stay. But them entering the country, they entered the country and were illegal in the country up until the requirements to stay here were changed. So you need to be very careful about how manipulative these people can be. And as you see, she's doing manipulation. Okay.
We're talking about. But he keeps on talking about these aliens who are coming, so we won't see them as human beings. Today, I think he went even farther, and he said that they're releasing them out of jail. Venezuela is releasing them out of jail. This is 100% false. The Venezuelans who are coming into the country are coming with papers. They actually have a legal pathway. We have so many of them in Florida, and it's offensive, but not is it only offensive, it's disturbing and disgusting. Because
for one, there's more than just Florida, and we literally just talked about TREN DE ARAGUA. We literally just talked about TREN DE ARAGUA. So now here's my question. How do you all feel about what's being said here on the news? Is this true information? Is this real? Is this correct? Is this accurate? If this is correct and real and accurate, give me a thumbs up. If this is not correct and real and accurate, then give me a thumbs down. TREN DE ARAGUA in itself came out of a Venezuelan prison. That is a true statement. And you see this woman here sitting here literally denying reality. This is what makes this right here, this very situation right here, this is what makes a lot of stuff extremely dangerous. Now, they can sit there and say Trump being a madman and yelling and screaming and saying all kind of stuff makes things dangerous. And I would agree to an extent it does. But this contributes just as much as Trump and his behavior, if you ask me. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
we're talking about. But he keeps on talking about these aliens who are coming, so we won't see them as human beings. Today, I think he went even farther. He said that they're releasing them out of jail. Venezuela is releasing them out of jail. This is 100% false. The Venezuelans who are coming into the country are coming with papers. They actually have a legal path. It did today now. Is that he made it very, very unsafe for Venezuelans as well as Haitians and other people who are in this country. And when you walk through this country and you meet people who've never met a Haitian.
Okay, so now let's deal with this. Who's making it more safe? Who's making it more unsafe for Venezuelans? Trump or TREN DE ARAGUA? And let me know in the comment section. Who's making it more unsafe for Venezuelans? Trump or TREN DE ARAGUA? Let me know.
Haitian American or a Venezuelan, they actually believe what he's saying. And that's what's dangerous. When you have people who are intentionally lying, who are intentionally misleading people to believe this so they can divide the country. But what I'm happy is that I know this country we live in, and we're no longer the people we used to be. We're working towards a better nation. We are the best country in this whole wide world. And as Americans who uphold integrity and actually equality, I know that this is not going to separate our country. So as much as he's trying to divide our country.
She's not even being honest in this video here. She's sitting here talking about integrity, and she doesn't even have any integrity with her information. I'm going to be clipping this up eventually, and I'll be posting some clips. When you guys, when the clip for this comes, make sure you guys put in all of the inconsistencies that this lady says in the comment section of that video. It's amazing how the mainstream media is literally just allowed to get away with saying anything, even when the stuff that they say is just completely based in alternative facts. That's what this is alternative facts. If you guys would agree, this is alternative facts. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, this is not alternative facts. This is reality, exactly how this situation is. Then give me a thumbs down. My bad, you guys. My computer is taking a minute. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. My bad. I don't know what's going on, why it's taking so long. Hold on real quick, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let's see something. All right, sorry about that. I think we're good now. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. We in there. Oh, man, hold on. Damn, man, I'm really having some issues with my computer tonight, but that ain't got. Oh man, I've seen people sit through live streams where they be having more issues with their computers. You know what I'm saying? People just ain't messing with me. It's all good though. Hold on real quick. All right. We should be cool. Yeah, we good now. All right, bet.
He did.
Hey, this is thumbs down the video and unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all weird on YouTube, man. Y'all phony and weird. Like if you don't mess with the content or you don't mess with me, don't sub the channel. I would have rather made it to 500 subs with people that actually are interested in this type of information. A bunch of weird nosy people that be shadow watching stuff on YouTube, man. You know what I'm saying?
didn't get into it any further, just saying the real threat is happening at the border. So I guess my first question to you is, are you worried that this rhetoric will lead to violence?
Absolutely. This rhetoric is not only will lead, it is leading to violence, especially with this narrative that's going on. This fictitious story of somehow Haitian people are coming into the country illegally and capturing animals and eating it and doing all kinds of crazy practices. But I think what's the most harmful is how he keeps trying to stroke fear and saying everybody's scared. You should be scared because they're coming for your animals. We already know that this is totally false. But what makes it worse is that he's a divisive person who's really trying to lean into a dark time in our country and trying to make us feel like we can't trust our neighbors. We can't trust the migrants who are coming in, that they somehow are coming here to hurt us. But the truth is that Haitian people are very hardworking people. The people who we have in Ohio are actually people who came from Haiti through a legal pathway. And they actually have work, not just to flee the facility, but they came to the United States to enter into a mutually beneficial relationship in which they can come here, work to help the country, working in different fields and industries such as factories, healthcare, and also to get an education so they can help build this great country and give back to the country that allow them to come in while they were fleeing persecution. And that's what Haitian people do when they come to the United States. For too long, we had racists and we had bigots come into this country and talk to people and say that Haitian people are here to hurt the country. But the truth is, as a Haitian American and the only Haitian American in Congress, I can tell you that's far from the truth. We've never eaten cats. I've never gone to a Haitian restaurant and saw a cat.
I didn't know that this woman was a congresswoman. How many people were aware that this was a congresswoman? If you guys were aware that this woman is a congresswoman, give me a thumbs up. If you guys were not aware that this woman is a congresswoman, then give me a thumbs down. I didn't know that this lady was a congresswoman.
On the menu or any kinds of animal. That is completely, we have to put an end to this narrative, these scare tactics, and talk about who we really are as Haitian Americans and what we come to this country to do. And that is to help serve and help protect this country and build up this country.
So well put, Congresswoman. Thank you. And I wanted to point out that you did grow up a child of Haitian migrants, or immigrants rather, and this rhetoric and these stereotypes. Why do you think these claims are getting so much traction, and where do you think it comes from? The essence of these claims. Where do you think it's being pulled from?
Well, these are old historical stereotypes that they had that were really built at a time to dehumanize Haitian people when Haitian people actually were coming into the United States. We saw a time where they said Haitian people eat dogs, they eat cats. They were trying to fearmonger people against Haitian people entering. So these are some of the same racist epitomes that they had before where they try to dehumanize. But we've seen this before. Even before, when they talked about Black people in the past, they had dehumanizing tactics. When they talked about Jewish people, dehumanizing tactics. So we can no longer see Haitian people or migrants for who they really are. They actually are like us. In the United States, we need a better life. We would hope that another country would allow us to come in for that medium, for that time. And so we need to start looking at our brothers and sisters who are coming into this country. And I have to say this, these are legal people. They have stayed at home. They applied. They came here through legal mechanisms. They actually have an education. They're coming into the United States. Some of them are actually doctors who are waiting for them to pass their boards to practice here, and they're actually working. Them are actually coming, and they have other
let me
professions.
ask you guys this: how many of, as difficult as it is to get into med school, how many of you all think that there's a quote unquote surplus of migrants who are coming to the United States to be doctors? Yag says they not eating my fluffy and doing voodoo on me, bro. That's hilarious.
And we just need to be realistic about who we're talking about. But he keeps on talking about these aliens who are coming, so we won't see them as human beings. Today, I think he went even farther, and he said that they're releasing them out of jail. Venezuela is releasing them out of jail. This is 100% false. The Venezuela.
Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, I know her. She was running for Congress in my district in Florida right before I moved. She ran off black this and black that, got in, and her policy went to immigrant this and that after using FBA for a win. Here go my quote. Why do people keep getting used, bro? Why do them people keep getting used, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it. Like, to me, like, I'm looking at this and I'm listening to what she's saying, and I'm already having immediate issues, and I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have bought none of what she was saying, because a lot of what she's saying is just, nah, I'm just batting this stuff down like you're trying to hit a layup. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick Tyler. Patrick Tyler says, because we engage in flat blackness. Some people may, I guess my question would be, quote unquote, who is we? You know what I'm saying? This is what, and I'm going to tell you guys something. This right here, when I be saying this kind of stuff, this is the reason why people don't like to listen to my content. This is why all these people that, you'll see them in other chats and they'll be, like tough and all that and saying all this stuff and rah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And I'll be just looking with like common sense stuff like, nah, like, man, I don't know. I've never done it, bro. And I used to be looked at as a coon. I've never done it. Never engaged in it, bro. Never engaged in it. I've never done it. And everybody used to look at me like I'm crazy. And I look at this now and I see like all these other people getting credit for these ideas and all of this stuff that I just used to see as normal and how I used to run my life and live my life. And it's just like, yo, it's just kind of weird because like everybody was out here hustling backwards. That's why when I try to, when we be talking about this and like I hear, people be like, well, we did this and we did that. And I'd be like, I don't know who the we is. It's a lot of the people that's loudmouth that try to do the black policing and all that, the black monoliths. You know what I'm saying? Because I've, like I said, for one, I didn't even grow up around all these different type of people. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a lot of these type of people around. And as you guys can see, that's clearly been evidenced because this is dealing with the area where I'm from. So when I see or hear people like saying this kind of weird stuff, or, you know what I'm saying, I go to your house and y'all got some type of meal that y'all eating that I ain't never heard of or nothing, immediately I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, tell me about this. You know what I'm saying? So, I just be wondering, like, man, what was up with other people? I've never engaged in quote unquote flat blackness. And it's not that I have an issue with other people who are black that's from different cultures, but we have a distinct culture as well. You know what I'm saying? And I just like, to me, like, this is goofy as hell. Like, I don't understand it. I feel the same way about anybody that supported this lady to get into office that I feel about that supported Brandon Johnson or Eric Adams or any of these other people. Everything that was presented to you in front of your face was literally presented there, and you had an opportunity to assess all of that stuff. And based on the presentation and your assessment was to do the wrong thing. That is solely, fully, and totally your fault. You know what I'm saying? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, and also here's another question, right? A lot of times people will always say, well, people aren't dumb and this, that, and the other. And people make statements about quote unquote being dumb and quote unquote intelligence. In most cases, people who are kind of smart can be kind of cunning and conniving, and they will trick people. And people who are also smart, who are cunning and conniving, kind of can size people up and don't get tricked. If you are constantly saying, well, we got tricked, what does that say about your intelligence level? That's my question. Because like my thing is, we could take it out of politics. What that would basically mean is let's forget politics. If I'm playing football, a basic fake will work on you. If I'm playing basketball, a pump fake will work on you. I'll always be able to go inside after I pump fake on the perimeter. Any type of trick I can use on you and it'll work because you don't have a learning curve. You have no mental immune system to where you recover and learn from the next time. So now my question is, if somebody decides to start using bell curve talking points, right? If they use bell curve talking points and then somebody becomes offended by the bell curve talking points that somebody used, and then somebody turns around and says, we've done the same thing politically for all these years and we continue to still do it. My question is, why, when the person presented you with the bell curve talking points, did you have an issue with the bell curve talking points? Because in the instance where you were confronted with the bell curve talking points, you said that it wasn't true, but then you say that it is true when it comes to dealing with politics. So this is the whole issue of being in two realities at one time. And we got to figure out which reality is consistent with the actual reality. Shout out to Patrick Tyler. Patrick Tyler says a lot of FBAs didn't get tricked. And I say that, well, and I'm not talking just directly to you, Patrick. I'm just throwing this out here because to me, like, it's important to have a conversation about the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to think that I'm like singling you out or anything, because I'm not. Shout out to you, Tia. What's good with it, Tia? And shout out to the dude. Welcome to the stream. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment, hit the bell. Patrick says a lot of FBA get tricked. Or I'm sorry, no, he didn't say that. I apologize. I read that wrong. Patrick says a lot of FBA don't get tricked. And I say that because anytime you have people complaining about Lori Lightfoot, but then go vote Johnson, then it's your fault. I don't know why anybody would complain about Lori Lightfoot and then vote Brandon Johnson. I would either have voted for Velas or not voted. One of the two. You know what I'm saying? You have aldermen like Anthony Beale, shout out to him, who's constantly been ringing the alarm and pulling Brandon Johnson's card. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to, I honestly, I don't know. This is one of the reasons why I ask these things, because I try to ask these questions so people will talk about it, so I can try to understand the rationale that they have of why they do the things that they do, because me personally, I wouldn't do anything that a lot of people do. So a lot of times it's hard for me to understand unless I hear the rationalization from them. But see, what ends up happening is you can tell that people become ashamed and they know that they've done something either really backwards or really wrong. So somehow when it comes time to put the magnifying glass on it, they really don't want to discuss it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't vote. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to vote this year. I don't support Trump. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? You know, I try to do what I can do on my own to mitigate issues that I have in the world outside of the political system. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, until I'm able to do what I want to, then that's it. But it's kind of difficult because, you know, it's just a one-person thing. So, you know, it is what it is. I can only do so much. I can only do so much, you know what I'm saying, with the resources that I have available and with the resources that's available to me that I can get that I haven't gotten yet. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the directions that other people are moving in, I don't tend to move with other people because other people tend to seem to have a preference of moving backwards, and other people have a preference of tending to move extremely slow. And neither of those are anything that I'm interested in. So that's one of the reasons why you kind of see me like doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the dude. The dude said it's mostly about money. When you say it's about money, what you mean? What, like the voting or the politics or what? Let me know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to DC Precise. Yeah, embrace villainy. And the thing that's sad about it is, like, when you embrace villainy, like, you got to embrace villainy 360. You know what I'm saying? That even mean any force that's in your way causing you issues. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with that force appropriately. And that includes, you know what I'm saying, possibly dealing with, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of people who claim that they want a certain thing that their actions are clearly showing that they don't want. That's also a hindrance to you meeting your individual goals. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to mitigate that problem as well. I would rather that not be a problem. The only problem is that it is an actual problem. You know what I'm saying? So again, these are personal decisions that people make, and I try to live my life in a way where I have the least negative effects, the least negative residual effects of other people's backwards decisions and ideas affecting me. But in an interconnected society, there's only a certain level of exposure that you can shield yourself from with that. So you do end up still dealing with a brunt of residual nonsense from whatever other people are doing. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the whole quote unquote black voter monolith issue. You know what I mean? So, and then there's the honesty issue. There's all these different issues. And the thing is that people don't want to deal with the issues, but they want the issues to be dealt with, and they want them to just magically go away. I don't understand how people can sit there and say that they don't believe in Santa Claus, but they'll believe that a problem would just disappear out of the clear blue sky. Do that make any sense? Here's 3 inconsistencies that I don't understand. I should clip this and make this a video. 3 inconsistencies that I don't understand. 1, you do believe in God. 2, you don't believe in Santa Claus, because if you believe in God, you should believe in Santa Claus. And for 3, you believe that your problems will just go away without any action. I don't understand those 3. I don't understand how those 3 things can exist in the same brain and not cause any type of conflict. There's an issue that occurs. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. The dude says all this is about All is about the bankrupt fiat American petrodollar. Why do you think the trade towers were so important back in 2001, financial building? We're talking about this particular topic right here. If I decide to do a video about the petrodollar or the Chinese yuan or something like that, we could talk about that then. But that literally has nothing to do with people's dysfunctional brains. We're talking about brain damage and human inefficiency right now. So my question for you is, what's the issue with people's brain functions? Why are people's brains defective and they can't seem to fight their way out of a paper bag that's wet? No offense. You know what I'm saying? People can either make a yes-no decision to vote. They can make a yes-no decision to vote on what they want to vote on. They can make a yes-no decision to be involved and aware of certain particular information and be aware and privy to information, or they can make a decision to not to be. Whatever's going on with the petrodollar, unless we are dealing with a balance of payment crisis or hyperinflation, none of which we're dealing with right now, that's the only way where something like that would affect somebody's decision to do something as simple as wash their ass when they wake up. So, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the, we're specifically on this, only on this, laser focused. You know what I'm saying? Patrick says the trade towers were just buildings. You can move the workings elsewhere. But what I want to know about is this right here. I want to know specifically about why people would see somebody who's clearly not moving in their interest and they would make the decision to specifically go ahead and vote for that person and wish for the best instead of paying attention to the pattern of this person's behavior and the things that they said, and then act surprised when they continue to exhibit the same behavior that they were exhibited when they made the choice to vote for it. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, how somebody like this can trick somebody. I sized this lady up. No. I know. But I'm just saying though. I'm curious. I just want to know that. That is what I want to know. Let me ask y'all this. We are all looking at this lady and listening to everything that she said, and everything that she said has been completely just false, phony, or half information, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. What I'm curious about, and if we're going to bring in the other stuff, how does a person receive that information and then make a decision to continue to support that person? Yeah, I'm not mad at that, dude. I don't vote either, bro. I haven't been compelled to vote. Now, if I were to vote, right, which I'm not, but if I were, you guys can probably guess who I will vote for. And the reason is not because of the person, is because the person supports positive movement towards particular things that I'm interested in or invested in. And that's it. And I don't have any emotion as far as any attachment. As far as I'm concerned, politics is a business. So if politics is helping me increase my revenue, whatever action is increasing my revenue is the action that I'm going to go for. And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DC Precise. Yeah, I agree. DC Precise says the same reason fools say they like Candace. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, to me, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, you notice things and you see things and things are kind of weird. So now the dude said, like I said, it's all about the fiat American petrodollar. Here's my question for you. How did the fiat American petrodollar trick Black Americans into voting for this woman in Florida? That's my question. How did that happen? How did the fiat American dollar trick Black Americans into voting for this woman for Congress in Florida? How did those two things connect? Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, I wasn't there to vote for or against her. I was in the process of moving to Atlanta. I later heard that she won and thought immediately, Black folks, she's not going to do anything for you. In my opinion, bro, if I was you, I would literally only think about what's going on. I see, me personally, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. With the duck emoji, right. I wouldn't think in terms of like what other people do, bro. Me personally, I don't think in terms of that. I don't think in terms of the collective at all. You know, and the reason why is because it's just too much evidence of no collective cooperation. Now, I throw ideas out there that I think would be effective, and it would be nice if, you know what I'm saying, like people would actually reiterate them. But for one, there's a thought process monolith, and people only listen to about 4 or 5 people, so nobody's going to listen to anything that I say anyway, unless I'm somebody that gets a nod from somebody else, and I don't, because I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't have no interactions with none of them people, and it is what it is. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with having my own identity and not needing to be identified with other people in association to be comfortable to say stuff that I got to say. But also, another thing is that there's a lot of people that are kind of afraid. They don't have a high confidence level. And there's people that actually are afraid of actually being responsible for their own circumstance. I can never tell what the issue might be, but I don't have time for those issues because I'm responsible for my own life and I got to live my own life. And I care about maintaining my life and doing what I got to do. And I don't have time to base my success on what other people choose to do versus not do. And the patterns show that there's not a lot of people that are willing to do, you know what I'm saying, stuff that I do. So I can't bother with that mess. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for it. I don't never think in terms like that. Now, you know, like I said, if I'm talking to people or if I'm talking to a group of people, yeah, like I'll give some suggestions like it's a business consultation, but you know, I never have any expectations. And I should be able to. I'd like to have expectations, but why would I waste my time? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said they got her here to weaponize against Trump and to weaponize her against Trump, telling blacks that he's racist. I wouldn't doubt that Trump is racist. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Trump's not racist. I don't think that most white people or most non-black people are not racist. I think that most people are racist. And when I say racist, what that basically means is like aware of race and the implications of their race. I would actually, never mind, but I think that most people that aren't black are racist. And when I say racist, again, I'm using it in the strict definition of the word of like race consciousness and understanding the implications of race, not necessarily burning crosses and hanging people. Me personally, I think that there's levels of racism that nobody's really been able to deal with yet because of the perpetual hamster wheel that we're in. The advanced levels of racism that, in my opinion, we should be fighting, which should be like geopolitical issues. In my opinion, we haven't even gotten to those levels yet, which is not really a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I hate to say this, but me personally, I don't think that many black people are even really aware and detect what racist or racism is, which is really kind of sad. I don't think that people can actually see like the actual degrees of racism or how to deal with the degrees of racism. I think that there's a bunch of fake people on YouTube that think that they know something and can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag in real life. That's what I think. See, shout out to Shatera. Shatera says, nope, you're right. Most are racist. Yeah, most people just deal with a perpetual state of tolerance of other people. You know what I'm saying? But in the back of their head, they have certain issues or whatever, and they can turn on or turn them off. And I don't think that most people realize that. And I'm not going to be like, a lot of people was really a lot of people that think they actually went through stuff or be through stuff, they really sheltered. Most people that you think about this, man, like most people that you listen to on YouTube, like imagine like a Umar Johnson or all these people that's bliggity black, all these black people that's all black everything. If you all black everything, how you ever deal with any type of racism? Like what, when you go to the store or something and you got a white cashier or something like that? But when do you ever deal with any racism? If you around all black people and you all blacked out, all black everything, where are you getting the racism from, except for maybe like, you know, if you're trying to buy a house, any other limited interaction that you have with non-black people? if most of your interpersonal interactions are with other black people and you have a limited amount of interpersonal interactions with other people, where are you experiencing or receiving the racism? The only time you would experience it is if you have to do transactions or interactions with other groups of people, which you will from time to time. But if you've limited them because you only deal with other black people, you've limited them to the bare minimum, then you're experiencing you've decreased your chances of dealing with racism more so than a black person that's integrated and deals with the world on a normal basis. So I don't understand, like, mathematically that don't make sense. Shout out to Tampa Supreme. What's good with it, bro? And I would agree. Most people don't understand racism, or most people just say it just to say it because they heard somebody say something. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said, exactly. I did read what you said about racism years ago, and that's when I began to understand real racism that harms us. We are kept focused on the stereotypical racism. Yeah, you got people like Roland Martin and Dr. Rashad Ritchie always making all them videos about Karens, but they not making any videos about how we don't own any Fortune 500 companies. We don't have any percentage of the U.S. the New York Stock Exchange, no percentages of the NASDAQ, no international businesses, no global conglomerates. But be worried about this old white lady that stared at you funny at the grocery store. She's gonna stare at you funny anyway. Don't matter how many videos Dr. Rashad Ritchie gonna do. I don't understand that. I don't get no power in the world from an old lady not looking at me funny. I could care less if the old lady look at me funny. I want to be the person who my name is printed on her walker because I own that company that makes all those walkers. And if I just decide to have a bad day and I want to take it out on somebody, I'll shut the plant down and make everybody have a hard time for a little bit. But a lot of people not even really thinking in those terms, though. So my question is, why are people not thinking in those terms? How do you get tricked by somebody like this lady right here? And then, like, my thing is, if people just continue to get, where is the cutoff? If people continue to get tricked, where's the critical root cause analysis where people sit back and be like, it's been a long time and we keep falling for the same pump fake. We keep falling for the same pump fake. We keep falling for the same pump fake. Like, I don't be falling for none of these pump fakes, but I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody, so don't nobody really care what I got to say, which is cool. But at the same time, though, anytime something happens and it affects a whole bunch of people, I'm gonna always make a distinction. Nah, I wasn't moving like that. That was them people that followed them people over there. And they was bragging about it and they wasn't listening to nothing I said when they was following them people over there. So I don't all us anything. And me personally, as far as quote unquote delineation goes, I don't have no problem with people from the diaspora that's respectful and that's cool. But I'll even delineate from people, you know what I'm saying, amongst myself, because I will make a clear distinction of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, you know, like with Tesla and Figaro, everybody making the videos about Tesla and going, wow, anytime I talk about geopolitics, that's the first thing I say is that Tesla and Figaro said that black people don't have time for geopolitics. But at the same time, no, you over there with people that constantly repeat white supremacy is global. So if it's global, then how you don't have time for geopolitics? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a double negative. That don't make sense. In one instance, white supremacy is global, but in the other instance, ain't nobody got time for geopolitics. That's what I don't have time for. I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? And so when people be like, oh, well, you know, black people never paid attention to geopolitics, man, don't black people none of that. Because I got 3 channels where I talk about geopolitics, and I got an old geopolitics playlist on this channel when I used to just do this as a 3rd channel. I see, and the thing is that that's another and to me, that's another reason why even intra-group delineation to me is not a bad idea. You got to separate the strong from the weak. You got to separate the dumb from the intelligent. You got to separate the productive from the non-productive. People always like to project. Anytime people have a personal failure, they like to project that personal failure onto everybody else. And the reason why they do it is for standardization. Hey, dude, here's an issue for you, right? Why don't you deal with the issue of race that was brought here by the people who created the country? Since they don't want to deal with it. Here's the issue, right? And you need to understand this. You need to understand this real well. The people that created the issue of race need to deal with it and fix it and get it together and actually take some accountability for it, or don't worry about the problems that you caused for other people that other people are working on their own to try to fix. You don't need to take any stress off of me because I could hold the entire planet on my back. If you so weak that you can't deal with your issues, then I would tell you to go to Dubai and go find you an Instagram model and have her crap on some underwear for you, and you can put them in a jar and put them up on your shelf and have a great time over there. I don't need that. I'm not going to Dubai. I don't know why I would go to Dubai. My whole family's from the United States and I'm staying here. It don't make no damn sense. I don't know if you're aware of Dubai, but it was a black lady that got arrested in Dubai for having an argument with a trucker. I'm cool on that. I don't know if you're familiar with Fresh and Fit, but homeboy is from United Arab Emirates, and as much N-words as he throw out, he sounds like one of the founders of the United States. I'm cool on that. Are you aware of what's going on in the actual world, or do you just smoke so much that your brain seeps out of your ears? Which one? Because you've been talking some delusional insanity, and I've been trying to be cool with you, but I think it's about time for me to lose my patience, so I did. I was checking my clock. I'm about 10, 15 seconds from losing my patience with this dumb stuff that you're saying, so you know what I'm saying? You a slave? To who? Who owns you? Whose last name you got? Whose last name you got? You can trace your name back to a plantation? You don't know what I've done. You don't know anything about me. I'm just a face on the internet. You aren't a slave. You are freely typing in my chat right now and freely showing everybody how low IQ you are, which is not something that most people really like to advertise. And I would stomp on you, bro. I would. I'm not even gonna lie. I would just completely make sure that you were two-dimensional when I was done, because that's how I get down. I'm not gonna not stomp on you when you deserve to be stomped out. Why would I not do that? You think that you're the type of person that could just put your chest out, say whatever you want to, and then when somebody gets you together, oh, don't hit me so hard. No, you've said everything that you had to say. Now is my time, and now I'm about to start wailing. And you're gonna take every single wail that I give you, and when we get done, we get back to the business. That's how it goes. That's what actual people actually do. This dude says, go pick a fight. You sitting in here, we're talking about voting habits, local elections, and you talking about the petrodollar. Racism is here in America. Your country was built on racism. The people here who are at the top echelon of society would have absolutely nothing except for sunburn and cancer if it wasn't for racism. Nothing wrong with that. It's a business model, and the business model works. Acknowledge it. Stop trying to act like you're delusional. But the way that you've been talking in the chat, it do sound like you might have some type of cognitive issue. So I wouldn't be surprised if you are delusional or not. You said that you're a slave. What's your last name? What's your last name? You got a slave last name? Because I bet you a bunch of people in here do. I bet you a whole bunch of people do. I bet you Patrick's last name is a slave name. I bet you Tampa Supreme last name is a slave name. I bet you Shatira's last name is a slave name. My last name is a slave name. What's your last name, bro? Your last name attached to a business or attached to a plantation? If we go back and check your records. You scared of history? You want Ron DeSantis to go sign a paper so I can't talk about that? I don't care what Ron DeSantis 5'11" ass say. I'm going to still talk about it. I'll talk about it right to his face. What's your last name, bro? You talking as you said you a slave. What's your last name? Now, nobody here said that we were slaves. Nobody said that. But you did, though. You said that you was a slave. So what's your last name? I didn't think so. All right, let's finish listening to this. So anyway, back to what we was talking about. I think that people should make their own assessments of politicians, and I don't think that people should make their assessments based on whether on emotional appeal. I think that they should base the assessments on the type of policies that the politicians have. Trump is favorable towards crypto. That's one of the things that I rock with. I've been messing with crypto. Shatera will tell you I've been heavy on crypto since 2017. Your last name's not Wasteland Soldier. Damn, bro. Are you okay? You really got derangement syndrome, don't you? Stay off the heroin. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time people vote for people because of who they like, and that's the inefficiency of human emotion. That's like the inefficiency of human emotion. It's got the dude, you know what I'm saying, sitting over there in the comment section moving like his name is the stud, not the dude. You know what I'm saying? So that it'll change people. You know what I mean?
Who are coming into the country are coming with papers. They actually have a legal pathway. We have so many of them in Florida, and it's offensive, but not is it only offensive, it's disturbing and disgusting. Because what he did today now is that he made it very, very unsafe for Venezuelans as well as Haitians and other people who are in this country. And when you walk through this country and you meet people who've never met a Haitian American or a Venezuelan, they actually believe what he's saying. And that's what's dangerous. When you have people who are intentionally lying, who are intentionally misleading people to believe this so they can divide the country. But what I'm happy is that I know this country we live.
So now here go my question. Why is it that people that are not from the United States tend to act like the country has never been divided before? Well, as you can see, I could care less about the U.S. Army Water Board. I don't care. Which is why I don't know about it. It's not important. Did you get drafted to the Army like my dad did and have to deal with Jim Crow and fight for this country anyway? Probably not.
And we're no longer the people we used to be. We're working towards a better nation. We are the best country in this whole wide world.
And I got a question for you. Which one of these stolen valor draft dodger candidates do you support? Which one of these stolen valor draft dodger candidates do you support? Trump is a draft dodger. Tim Walz is stolen valor. So which one of these clowns? Which side of this clown show do you support? Because they all probably remind you of your dad. So which one of your dads do you want to vote for? These dudes remind you of your dad, bro. I can go in your house and see a picture of a dude look just like Trump or look just like Tim Walz. What you talking about? These dudes directly relate to you. Stop it. On both sides. What you talking about?
And as Americans,
or are you a person of color like Kamala Harris? You a person of color like Kamala Harris?
who uphold integrity and actually equality, I know that this is not going to separate our country. So as much as he's trying to divide our country, as much as he's trying to go down to the bottomless pit of hatred and trying to get us to fight and say, you know what, we're going to believe Trump. I know we're going to rise to this moment and actually do the right thing. And that's voting for the actual right candidate who's unifying us and giving us hope. And if we're going to deal with the border situation, we have to deal with the root causes, the disturbances in these countries. That's what we have to deal with. How do we make these countries more stable? And the Biden administration has done that. I've been fighting since I've gotten into Congress.
Check this out, right? She said that the Biden administration has made the countries where these people migrated from more stable. That's absolutely a false claim. Kamala Harris, we actually went through this. She was tasked with studying and addressing the root causes of mass migration or mass immigration from Central America. And if you pay attention and look at the numbers, after she did her project, none of the numbers have changed. And massive amounts of money and investment has gone into Central and South America. Billions of dollars. And no changes at all. So my question for you is, how do they just allow somebody like this to sit here and say this misinformation? Now, check this out, right? Y'all see what the wallpaper says behind her? Tell me in the comment section what the wallpaper says behind her.
These last 3 years to ensure that we're addressing the root causes, stabilizing these countries. Because the truth is, no one wants to leave their home to come to the United States. They want to live in their homes. They want to grow their children. When they come into this country, they come here without a photo album, with no history, with not even the language. And they're forced to learn the language within.
Well, if you don't come with a photo, if you don't come with documents, you're supposed to come with documents. Or you're supposed to use a legal pathway to make official documents and then come the correct way. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Facts. And that's the point. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, I see the useless Black Caucus. Yeah. So now the thing is you had mentioned earlier how she was taking up for the Venezuelans and all that, right? If you guys remember, when TD made that video, that's what the Congressional Black Caucus do. On their mission and vision statement, they advocate for literally everybody. They're now, you was talking about flat blackness earlier, right? The Congressional Black Caucus is the flat. I wouldn't even say that they flat blackness. They like the flat DEI caucus. How many, if you guys would agree, the Congressional Black Caucus should be called the Congressional DEI caucus? Give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, also, shout out to everybody, man. We at the 1-to-1 ratio. I appreciate it. We got 19 people watching and 19 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 38, that'd be great.
Days, they're forced to learn how to survive here in the culture and to be the best they can be. And believe you me, every immigrant who is in the United States know that they have to prove themselves worthy and as a contributor to the United States. And that's what we seek to do. No one's here to steal, and we do not steal. No one's here to commit crimes, and we do not commit crimes. So this rhetoric needs to stop immediately.
She said no one's here to commit crimes, and we do not commit crimes. And we literally just read a police report with where the Aurora government in Colorado was addressing TREN DE ARAGUA. What's crazy is this is literal flat out mis and disinformation. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. What's good with you, bro? This is mis and disinformation. And these individuals here come out and call other things mis and disinformation. Now, again, nobody's making the claim that every single migrant is a criminal, right? But there's clearly an issue, and the issue is not that the issue is not the non-criminal migrants. The issue is that the United States is not properly vetting people, and as a result of not vetting people, they're bringing in everybody, not just good people. If you have a process where you can recruit people, you need to at the very least bring in the good people. Would you guys agree? And then they got that whole gang. It's a gang, a Haitian gang. Now, they're not part of what's going on in Springfield, but it's a gang called the Zopound. They got their own criminal organizations. Speaking of, she said she was in Florida, down in Florida, as a matter of fact.
Because we as a nation are better than this.
Congresswoman, that's exactly where I wanted to go next, because I know that you spoke today with the acting prime minister of Haiti. So what did you talk about with regard to Haiti's government working to make their country safer?
Look, man, we're going to have to change I just thought about this. We're going to have to change the whole channel theme for reacts and all of that. Because now when I be like, yeah, throw some ducks in the chat, they're going to be like, he just want to eat a duck. I knew Rob was a tether. He just want to eat a duck. I knew Rob was a tether. He just want to eat a duck. Man, we keeping the ducks for react anyway. They can say whatever they want.
It's been, taken over by corruption and violent gangs. So Haitians that love their country feel like they have to leave. And so they come here in large numbers seeking a better life. And then that leads to a large amount of Haitians in a community, and everybody's trying to get housing and jobs and healthcare. And it creates this cultural and economic tension, right? That's a whole nother issue that we could talk about. And I think that's where a lot of this dangerous rhetoric comes from, right? And why we see this a part of
Bro, you can do whatever you want to, but just know that whatever you do, you're not going to stop me from doing what I do. It don't matter what you do. If you got a problem with what I'm talking about, I don't even know why you're here. But little veiled threats and all, bro, dude, you could give me your worst. I'm just saying.
the political speeches. But, you know, going back to the essence of the problem, which you just pointed out, what is the acting prime minister doing right now, and how are you involved?
Yo, shout out to Shatira, man. Shatira been rocking with me on social media for a long time. How do I attract these weirdo stalkers? I be in my stream, in my zone, having a good time, chilling, we kicking it, we bouncing ideas back and forth, having jokes, and then you got weird stalkers that come through and do stuff online, but won't pull up outside somebody's house. How did I target you? Are you a Haitian or an immigrant or something? I targeted you. You're in my stream. I'm not talking about you. Your name is nowhere in any content that I've never even seen you before, but I targeted you. Are you this lady? Are you her sock account or something? How did you get targeted? I asked you how the petrodollar had to do with tricking black people in Florida for voting for her. Why has everybody got to be a victim? Who targeted you, dude? What are you talking about? Everybody just, this person did something to me. Bro, nobody did anything to you. You're not a victim. You can leave. Nobody's holding you here hostage. Shout out to the other 20 people that are watching. Is anybody holding this individual in here hostage? Does he have to be here? No, actually, it's not your stream. I talk to people in my chat. That's what I do. Anybody can tell you that. So don't feel special. It's just weird, though. You're weird and on display. Just make sure you know. It's weird, man. What's wrong with these people, man?
In that discussion to make that country a better place so the people that love Haiti want to stay in the country that they love?
Well, he's really focusing on security and how he can make Port-au-Prince safer for everyone. The gangs now are trying to spread and trying to enlarge, but because we have a mission in, they're really dealing with that gang issue and the safety of the Haitian people. Simultaneously, he's looking at—
Hey, shout out to the chat. Should we hit the button? If we should hit the button, give me a thumbs up, or actually put the button in the chat. If we shouldn't hit the button and we keep it pushing, let's keep it pushing. Let me know what y'all want, though. It's on y'all.
At ways that Haitian Americans who are interested in making Haiti safer and a good place to invest and kind of help the country to evolve. We all know that a country needs to have stability, but it also has to have economic investments. And the diaspora has been looking for ways to invest in Haiti, how to help Haiti. There are trillions of dollars that come from Haitian Americans who are in the United States into Haiti, trying to help Haiti thrive. So he's looking at those mechanisms also. But then we're also looking at the political stability. With the transition government and him as the prime minister, we are planning to have an election in Haiti, and he's looking on putting together that force, that task force, to make sure they're free and clear and actually stable and credible elections in Haiti.
Well, TCU, do your thing. TCU, do your thing.
So there's three pieces that he's working on, and we're working here also in the United States to make sure that he has what he needs to rebuild the country. The way that we're looking is that we see a large influx of migrants who are coming in. How do we stabilize those countries? How do we make them feel comfortable staying at home? And that's really the hard work. The easy work is to get up and start spewing rhetoric that isn't true, to lie, and comes from a place of the old time, right? It comes from a place where—
So now here go my question for this lady. What should be done with the claims that are true? How should the claims that are true, how should they be dealt with? Should the claims that's true just not be dealt with at all? Should they just be ignored in the name of quote unquote unity, or what? Because there's migrants who are not gang members, the gang members who are in those apartment complexes in Colorado should just not be addressed to make people feel good. Like I don't understand when people like start what she's doing in terms of talking in absolutes. This is what I'm talking about the fuzzy wuzzy Gestapo. Talking in terms of absolutes, acting like there's no such thing as problem people, is literally the exact same and just as harmful as talking in terms of everybody as if everybody is harmful. literally saying that there's no problem people in any one group of people is just as bad as saying all the people in that group are problem people. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
You had these old time racists who were afraid of everyone. Anybody who wasn't like them, who wasn't in that clique, they were afraid of them. But now looking at where we are in 2024, now I feel like most people have met Haitian people. They have met migrants. J.D. Vance is even married into a migrant family, a family of people who came from India to have a new life. So I think his comments are even more disgusting.
She's dick policing. Here come the monolith. She's dick policing. He's defined by where he goes. Black voter monolith. I don't know the dynamics of J.D. Vance's marriage. I don't know how his wife is or what she feels or any of that. I don't think that any of his behavior should be based on who he's with. But this is projection. A lot of times people project their worldview and how they think the world should be onto other people. So just understand what she's saying. In her mind, because he's with somebody who's of a particular race or of a particular culture, right? That he should automatically, I don't know what her expectation is. What is she saying? Like he should what? Assume the mantle of being an immigrant or be sympathetic to immigrants because his wife is an immigrant or something. I don't know. Like I don't understand where she's going with that. But what I do understand is the reason why she's going there with that is because that's what she thinks and that's how she moves. So what it seems to me like is that she's projecting that she would assume the identity of her partner, which I don't understand how people assume the identities of their partners. Like that to me doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said it's another. I heard about it's a town in Alabama where there's some Haitians. If you see any info about it, throw it in the Discord, bro. I don't get this. I never understood that type of concept. Some people, you know what I'm saying, they think like that, but I don't. To me, it doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
Because how do you go home to your family and look at your mother-in-law, look at your wife and your children,
Here we go.
understanding their plight coming
now she's doing it. Look, she all in his family. Now she's all in his family. How many times have y'all seen this? Now she's policing his family. Your wife an immigrant. He's not. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, you never heard of the passport bros. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what is this? What's going on right here, y'all? Is she expecting she's expecting J.D. Vance to abide by her behavioral expectations of somebody who's in a relationship with an immigrant. This is my take on it. It'll probably be an unpopular take. They're still married, which means that there's something that's more than likely keeping the marriage together. So since you're not a part of that marriage, I don't know how you can offer any recommendations. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense, give me a thumbs down. I never try to understand people's relationships. People crazy. I've seen people that can't stand each other be married for a long time and they can't stand each other. I don't know how people do it. I couldn't be with somebody that I can't stand. Love is definitely an inefficient human emotion that I don't try to understand. I don't try to understand people's emotions. I only try to understand logic. And anytime I see emotion involved in something, that means that there's a decrease of logic. So I kind of just rule it out right then. But I don't understand how she's trying to put all this together of this list of behavioral expectations that J.D. Vance should have. JD Vance's wife might be an immigrant, but she's also an Indian immigrant, and Indians are classified as Caucasian, and they fought to be classified as Caucasian. So technically, on paper, technically, he's not in an interracial relationship. Technically, on paper, JD Vance's relationship is a Caucasian and Caucasian relationship. So again, this is just like she's a part of the government, so she should understand this about how that works, and she's not even acknowledging that. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said Vance and Trump are going off on reports from local citizens. Rather, true or false, it's irresponsible to push this without it being vetted, just like it's irresponsible to ignore criminal migrants. I agree 100%. I would, if I was Trump and I wanted to really, really bring that issue up, like if I just couldn't go without bringing that issue up, I would have talked about it in terms of what already happened. I'd have talked about it in terms of increasing costs that can be proven, car accidents, crowding, resource constraints. I'd have talked about it in terms of all those things. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Yo, I appreciate it, bro. Alpha Male Pimp Network says, I was watching the video from your channel about 216 Stand On It. I'll be watching that video every day. It's a classic. It's your best video. Yo, I appreciate it, bro. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, man. Shout out to 216 Stand On It, man. He got a good channel, man. I really like his channel, man. I hope he do good on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? His videos be hitting. You know what I'm saying? And he's from Cleveland, so shout out to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right? It comes from a place where you had these old time racists who were afraid of everyone. Anybody who wasn't like them, who wasn't in that clique, they were afraid of them. But now looking at where we are in 2024, now I feel like most people.
And see, this is again, let me ask y'all this, man. Do you take tiki torches? And when I say tiki torches, I ain't talking about Charleston. I'm talking about like Tulsa, Oklahoma. Do you run up in people's entire neighborhoods or entire enclaves and burn them down and burn down all the businesses if you're scared of those people? Do you do that? That's not usually what people who are scared do. You know what I'm saying? That's not usually what people who are scared do. If they are scared and they do that, that's an extreme fight or flight response. But like most times people don't do that. Like Rosewood, Florida, like, you know what I mean? Like that's not what people that scared do. If you was really scared, would you have a whole bunch of slaves on a plantation and just you and your wife if you was really that scared? That's like saying that the prison guards would sleep inside of the prison with the prisoners with them no handcuffs and all the doors open at night. Like that would show that they're not scared, but they don't do that. They lock them doors tight and they go home and they had like 2 barriers of security before they can get out.
People have met Haitian people. They have met migrants. JD Vance is even married into a migrant family, a family of people who came from India to have a new life.
Okay, here she go with the bringing up the marriage. Like this to me, like this is really weird when people do this, man. It's a bad look. They might think that they're getting off on something when they do this, and like I'm gonna just talk about this person's family, but like you really not though. Like you really not. I don't know if people know this, but people give a lot of information about themselves by the way they talk about certain situations. Would y'all agree? If y'all agree that people give a lot of information about themselves based on how they talk about certain situations, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. She's projecting her outlook on how she behaves and how she expects others to behave. She's using herself as a personal standard to judge somebody else. JD Vance is not married to a Haitian immigrant. He's married to an Indian immigrant, first and foremost. Second of all, their marriage is not really any of your business. Third of all, if I'm not mistaken, JD Vance's wife is an immigrant citizen, not an immigrant who entered the country illegally and was able to luck up and be here because some laws were changed after she entered illegally, that I know of, to my knowledge. So it's a lot of different dynamics there that she's completely leaving out on purpose. And what you the type of communication that she's giving, you will see a lot of this type of communication that people they give this type of communication on YouTube. People do this type of gaslighting all the time on YouTube, where they'll purposely leave important things out that are like defining or verifiable factors in order to push a talking point, as if somebody can't just go Wikipedia stuff or people just can't go Google stuff. I don't know why people do that. You know what I'm saying?
So I think his comments are even more disgusting, because how do you go home to your family and look at your mother-in-law, look at your wife and your children, understanding their plight coming into the United States? There were negative
What was
things
their
that
plight? We don't know what their plight was. They might have been like top caste Brahmin that just, you know what I'm saying, decided to want to come to the United States. Everybody that comes here doesn't have a plight. Would you guys, if you guys agree that everybody that comes here doesn't have a plight, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Just like how everybody that lives here doesn't necessarily have a struggle. Shout out to Shatira. Shatira says, this is what it is. When new groups are introduced into society, there's pushback. Migrants got to go for what they know. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is I would say that there is a pushback, but a lot of times there's not. And I feel that the reason why there's a lot of pushback with this situation with the migrants is because of the way that resources are being managed, and because of the way that it's kind of being put right into people's faces. And they're putting these people in like middle class to low middle class areas where these people was already living paycheck to paycheck. And like these people struggling, like working with $100 to last them 2 weeks after a paycheck. And you just seeing like these people with like carts full of food. Like, you got to eat ramen noodles. But then you sit up here and see this person that came into the country, and you know they came in illegally. Biden changed the laws, and they got like 5 racks of ribs and the biggest lobsters that you could find in their cart. That's probably going to get under somebody's skin. That's not going to make the situation any less hostile. And they know that. It's crazy. Shout out to Brianna. Brianna says this, quote unquote, IA. We just say IA. Hopefully YouTube don't be on the weird stuff. Thing makes me less sensitive to the immigrants and their stories. Here's my thing, man. As far as that goes, like I said, just follow the rules. For one, follow the rules, right? And ultimately, at the end of the day, who's letting all this happen? It's the federal government, for one, not applying the rules and prioritizing people over the people who have already been here and invested in the country. Those, to me, are the two fundamental problems. I feel the same way with the immigration situation that I feel about any type of situation. I don't have a problem with gun ownership, but like if you give somebody that's a psychopath a gun, that's kind of an issue, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you're a criminal and your first risk-taking thing that you do is to criminally enter the country, we have laws that are available, a court system that's available, and law enforcement that's available. Apply the law the same way that you will apply the law in any other situation. The issue is that the United States government is not applying the law the way that they would in any other type of situation, and they're adjusting to the law to make it where the actions that a lot of these people do is no longer illegal. So then they can just turn around and say, we just eradicated this criminal problem. No, you didn't. All you just did was just rewrote some laws. So my thing is, I believe that what we're seeing is the government purposely not applying the laws. You have states that are out of control doing what they want as far as sanctuary cities, and all of that combined, neglecting the taxpayers. And by doing that, that's going to cause issues of competition between groups of people. And that's what we see. And people are going to speak out about it. People are going to say stuff about it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that everything, I agree with you, Kutera, everything's not going to be a kumbaya, but I think that the transition, you know, these type of transitions and these type of things, they could go a lot smoother. And the reason why they don't go smoothly is because the government succumbs to people who breaks the rules instead of the government prosecuting people that break the rules. Could you imagine if the government gave us chances like how they get these immigrants? Like, imagine if I stole a car and I was like, you know what, my bad, I just wanted to get from point A to point B. Just forgive me. I'll buy another one. How about you put me, instead of sending me to court, put me on a payment plan so I could buy this car that I stole, and I'll buy it from the court out the sheriff auction. Okay, we'll do that. People will be stealing cars all the time. They're not going to do any of that for us, but these people can commit a crime, come into the country, And we'll just change the law so you can stay here illegally. They didn't change the law so that people could, like all the people that got in trouble for smoking weed, when they decriminalized the marijuana, they didn't just immediately sweeping, like make everybody who had issues with marijuana, make them issues go away. But they did do that for these people that's migrants. They not even doing that kind of stuff and giving them type of passes for people that's citizens and taxpayers here. That's another problem. People gonna look at that and be like, damn, you just gave them a clean slate. How much you got to pay for a bankruptcy? They can come to the United, like coming here, wiping their documents, getting brand new social security number and all that here in the United States. That's just as good as getting a credit check. You just had to travel through the Darien Gap. Boom, now you're here. Brand new everything. We got to carry bad credit and all type of financial issues and baggage until we can either pay everything back or until we can get a bankruptcy. And we got to pay for all that on our own. They don't give us any type of pass. And we pay to keep this bad boy in business. Of course, that's going to make people mad. It's not all about xenophobia. I think that people have buyer's remorse when it comes to the United States. I would say that the issues that most people have with the migrant crisis, I would say that it's probably like 80% buyer's remorse, 20% xenophobia. Most of the complaints that people have, it's a few people that's complaining about similar issues with the migrants. The biggest issue that most of these people that be complaining have that I see is the resource allocation. Would y'all, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Most people, it's not like, I can't stand these people. Screw these people. I can't stand. That's not really what you see. The issue is like, yo, we had this park and then y'all just took it and turned it into a migrant shelter. Like, what's up with that? Oh, you're a xenophobe. No, a xenophobe is if you start making all kind of faces and doing all kind of funny accents and calling people all kind of names and doing all kind of cultural stuff. Most of these conversations about the migrants, in most cases, don't even like, I'm not dealing with these people, and then people spew a whole bunch of like xenophobic rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Most of it is for real financial or for real like resource allocation. Like, yo, what's up with this, man? We had this school. We was waiting to get an air condition put in, and then they put an air condition in and shut it down and reopened it for migrants. Like that, what happened to that? I was waiting for my kid to go to that school because it's right next door. That's the type of stuff you hearing at these city hall meetings. Not a bunch of people just sit up there. I don't like these people. I can't stand these people. You're not hearing all that. Shout out to Patrick Tyler. Patrick Tyler said, notice that the politicians ain't putting them in their neighborhoods. Facts. Except for when Greg Abbott put them migrants in Martha's Vineyard. And I think Ron DeSantis put some migrants in Martha's Vineyard too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shatera. Shatera said, yeah, the issue is allocation of resources. Yeah, I would agree. And then, of course, when the allocation of resources, when you see the resources being distributed unfairly, yeah, people going to speak out about it. Like, what's the requirements for these resources to be allocated? And why do I feel like I'm being extorted because I got to pay taxes for this? I'm expecting the taxes to go towards infrastructure of, you know, either being reinvested into the United States or being reinvested into my area where I'm from. And you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just gave like this migrant over here like 2 racks for some food on a Visa card. Like, what's up with that? Hell yeah, people gonna have a problem with that. That's normal. Like, they try to make people feel crazy. Like, they try to make you feel like it's not normal to have an issue with that. That's normal. That's the same thing as if you got 2 kids and you buy this one kid, the younger kid, some candy, and the older kid, you be like, man, go just going to school. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting no candy today. But you got my little brother some candy. You ain't getting none, no. I'm not getting you any. I got him some. You ain't getting none. Go to school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your older kid gonna have a little resentment towards you. Like, why every time you got my little brother some candy, you got me candy? You didn't get me none. You just told me to leave. I've been asking these questions about these driver's licenses. I want to know how the insurance companies are covering these people. That's what I'm saying. How are they getting a VIN number for the car? It's all kinds of questions that I got that's like not being answered. How is people's insurance premiums not going up? Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said that his insurance premium had went up. But I want to see the underwriting calculations because I want to see exactly how they're calculating in the risk for uninsured migrants. Because matter of fact, when I make my clips on this video, I'm finna have one that's titled, How is Uninsured Migrant Motorist Being Calculated into Insurance Premiums in Areas with a High Amount of Migrants? Because like I said, there needs to be a writer, right? There needs to be a writer, some type of underwriting that goes into the insurance policy about going to immigrant areas or migrant areas of sanctuary cities where it's a high probability of a migrant driver, an unlicensed migrant driver, an uninsured migrant driver, or a migrant driver that can't read the signs. Like that, these are problems. Could you imagine at night if the visibility is bad and you already read English as a second language and the sign might be kind of far away and like you can't really read it that fast and you don't know what the signs say and it causes an accident? Shout out to Shatira. Shatira said maybe they going to the General. Hey, the General is the lick. I would tell everybody to go to the General. I got the General. They cheap. The General insurance, that type of insurance where you could pay the whole 6 months in the same thing that everybody else pay monthly. You know what I'm saying? And they got that, they got the towing service. You better lead a stream and call 1-800-GENERAL now. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said they don't want this particular rhetoric of people having an issue based off resources to catch on. It's why they bias the xenophobic argument to shut you down. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Shout out to Tia. Tia said, oh, by the way, you guys control my stream now. You know what I'm saying? Because I never address people in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Just so y'all know, y'all running the stream now. That's why they're in our neck of the woods so that they can raise our rates. Yeah, I mean, probably a lot of places already got really high rates though. Like a lot of the places where they are, where you got to add stuff onto your car insurance, like PIP and stuff like that. Man, them insurance rates high as hell. I can only imagine how high it is in California. That's got to be crazy. Or in New York or anywhere like on the East Coast where you got to have all that and you got to have the extra stuff. You got to have med payments. You got to have PIP. The only thing that we got to have, and that's the thing too, this in Ohio and Springfield, man, in Ohio, all you got to have is uninsured motorists. That's it. You ain't got to have nothing. Like all you got to have is collision and uninsured motorists. Them the only two that you got to have. Everywhere else, you got to have like 4 or 5 different policies. Man, listen. That's crazy.
Were said about Indians at one time also, and then come out and say these words that you know are false. This is the problem that we have. We have a group of people who are trying to really lean in to the old United States and not move forward to a place of freedom for all, living up to the standard that we have set. The international community actually looks towards us for stability, for actually a standard where you have.
Shout out to Win Lose a Rug, bro. That's about to be expensive. In LA too, I could only imagine, bro. That's crazy. Man, listen, man, I could never live in none of them expensive places. Is it to me, like anywhere outside of Ohio is expensive. Anywhere outside Ohio is expensive. Real quick, shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all being here. If y'all ain't hit the like button yet, do me a favor, take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't shared the stream, take a moment and share the stream to your social media. We got 19 people watching and 26 likes. Let's try to get it to 40.
Honesty, integrity, where we can live together, work together, and turn from our harmful past to a new trajectory where we're all even. So the comments that he's making about the international community loving him or liking him, completely false. If anything, they're looking at him and wondering, how can Americans even consider having such a divisive person there? And if you even look at the people or the leaders, the international leaders who he always referenced, they're always going to be authoritarian. They're always going to be dictators. There's an obsession he has with people who like to deny everybody's freedoms and rights and have them playing into him, playing into his.
Let me ask you guys this question. What do you guys think about this lady right here? What's your thoughts about this lady right here? You guys agree with the stuff that she's saying? You guys think that she's sincere? What's up? What do you guys think about her? It's just, to me, like this is just very flaky. Very flighty. Like if I was, say for instance, shout out to Patrick. Patrick was saying how she had ran for a congresswoman down in Florida. I would be tuned in for probably about 5 minutes and then I'd be gone. This ain't it for me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't it for me. Sorry.
Ego. When he's talking and he says that he wants to be a dictator for a day, I think that we understand what that means and really understand his mindset. When he's talking about his crowd size, when he's talking about himself continuously, when he's talking about the FBI and himself and what they're doing to him, this is what dictators like to do. They take a country and they build it all around them, meeting their needs, whatever it is to protect them in those spaces, even though it harms the rest of the world. And that's why this moment is crucial and it's very serious. He's telling us who he is. He's showing us who he is. He's not afraid to lie to prove a point. He's not afraid to lie to get people to be scared so they can vote for him. So we must take this moment very serious. And I've seen dictators, I've seen authoritarian leaders, and he is definitely one. This is not democracy that he's talking about. This is.
I'm saying, shout out to Shatera. Shatera says, no, she just want everybody to hush and get rolled over. Yeah, I would agree. If you guys agree with Shatera, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says Trump cannot be a dictator. If he wins, he would do it 4 more years and he out. Now, listen, how many people have read Behold a Pale Horse? If you guys have ever read Behold a Pale Horse, let me know in the comment section. In Behold a Pale Horse, Bill Cooper said when they did the law changes that allow presidents to write the executive orders and the Federal Registry and all that, he said that effectively, quote unquote, made George Bush the first American king. So he had a lot of, like, quote unquote, autonomous power. So now, when they talk about being a dictator, right? My question for everybody would be, Trump won, right? From 2016 to 2020. What did Trump do that was authoritarian and dictator-like? People will say January 6th, whatever. Aside from, let's just give them January 6th. Okay, we'll give you January 6th. Besides that, January 6th was an incident that occurred on January 6th. It was one day, right? So he was president for 4 365-day terms, right? So for the other days, the other 4 365 days, minus the one day of January 6th, what all did he do that was dictatorship? And what's the percentage of 1 divided by 4 times 365? Let me see. So we actually going to do the math on that. All right. Let me see something. Hold on real quick. We're about to pull this down real quick. Let's see. All right. Hold on real quick. So he was president for 4 years. So he was president for 1,406 days. So there was a dictatorship issue on one day. This is a negative. This is a number that's so small of a percentage that it has to be written in scientific notation. 6.85 times e to the -4. All right. So like this is a number that's so small it can't even be written in decimal form. It's in scientific notation. So 0.685 e to the -4th power is how much of a percentage of direct dictatorship action that Trump did based on days that he was in office. So that being said, right? So we'll just automatically, you can have January 6th. Sure, that was an issue. Let's just say that. All right. So now besides January 6th, what else was there? Was there anything else? Now, they also said that he likes dictators. I mean, sometimes people just, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, maybe they got a certain personality type. I don't know if I would say that he likes dictators or not. I don't know anybody else who ever like tweeted like, little rocket man, you better stop testing those nuclear missiles. Like, I don't know anybody else who's ever done that, but he did. And then like Kim Jong-un stopped testing nuclear missiles. I've never seen anything like that before in my life, but that happened. I've never seen presidents do a Twitter roast battle over over foreign policy to get somebody to stop doing something, but like he did that though. Like that he did that. That happened. Shout out to John Guillory. Y'all remember that when he was tweeting calling Kim Jong-un little rocket man, like, you better stop doing that. And then he and then he did. I ain't never seen nothing like that before in my entire life. But like, he did it and it worked. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say. So I need to see more evidence, like all of these things that they're saying. Like, I need a little bit more convincing evidence, not hysteria, not like what could be. I need to see what is. Like, okay, like let's just say January 6th is. Okay, that's fine. What else is there? Because he had 4 years. So there's January 6th. What else? Man, I laughed so hard when I seen that. I was just like, man, this dude wild, man. It's the same thing I always say about, like, man, he wild, man. Trump crazy.
This is about Donald Trump, and this is about making the United States a United States for Donald Trump and not for all men and women.
Florida Congresswoman Sheila Sheriffless McCormick, sure appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, like, Trump, man, you 2 feet tall, little rocket man. Like, stop shooting nuclear missiles across the Pacific Ocean before we go over there and take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that? You know what I'm saying? Who as the president? Who as the president goes on a Twitter finger purge every morning anyway? But I mean, Trump used to do that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I was alive during 9/11. Like, 9/11 was kind of wild. It was kind of a lot of like nonsense. And then the thing that's crazy about like 9/11 is they took that and used that to turn around and like make a crazy war. You know what I'm saying? That lasted forever. None of that. Like, my thing is like, man, I don't know how you can go in on Trump the way that you go in on Trump when we have presidents like George Bush Jr. Like, man, are you serious? Dick Cheney. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I did like that's for like what? That's why they said there's 2 things that you shouldn't do. The first thing that you shouldn't do is give black people AI, and the second thing that you shouldn't do is give Trump Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John. John said, Rob, I had a convo with a family member who hates Trump, and I told him outside of C-19 nothing really happened under Trump. Really? And he actually said I was kind of right. Yeah, he right. When you compare the facts, you know what I mean? You just got to be like, okay, this happened. That's why, listen, the polls are telling the truth about emotionalism in the post-truth society, bro. All of the polls say that they believe that Trump would handle the economy better. That's not me saying that. You got these weirdo people making all these videos talking about I'm MAGA and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not MAGA. That's what all the polls say. If you're going to make a video about me saying what the polls say, go make a video about the polls. They got more money than I do. I don't have no money except for, you know what I'm saying? You know, look how we fund this organization. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, man, when everybody was making them the Motown AI songs, bro. Everybody was making everything was Motown. Anything that happened was Motown. Could you imagine if the AI stuff was out in 2016 when Trump was doing all them crazy tweets? You know, somebody would have made Motown songs out of the Trump tweets. It would have been lit. Because people can't help themselves. People can't sell. They would have had a Motown song about they eating the dogs. They eating the dogs, dogs, dogs in Springfield, Ohio. Dogs, dogs. They eating the cats, cats, cats in Springfield, Ohio. They eating the cats. Dog. They eating the dog. You know, they would have done some stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they would have done some stuff like that, man. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even expect people to be serious no more, man. That's why they got him up off of Twitter. Like, man, you gotta go, man. Bye. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. You purged, bro. We're not even keeping none of the information. Ain't no backup files on you, bro. You done. We putting a magnet on the whole little hard drive unit that had all of your information in it. You gone, bro. Man, them images of them images of the Haitians with the pets is crazy, man. That's wild, man. That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is wild, man. It's funny, but it's not funny, man. Like, I be feeling bad laughing about it. It's just crazy. Like, I just don't have no expectations anymore. Like, I used to see the like homeless people walking around with like, repent to Jesus. We're in the end times. Like, man, they don't even walk around with them signs no more now because they just getting their stuff ready because they know we like tomorrow finna be the last day. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, listen, Trump will be on some wild stuff, bro. He would be on Twitter going in on somebody that was just in an office building right next to him. The other, like, he's in like room 506, you know what I'm saying? And like the other person in room like 508B, and Trump done blew their whole everything up online nationally for everybody to know. You know what I'm saying? Trump, wow, bro. He said Megyn Kelly was bleeding from everywhere. Bro, listen, man. Megyn Kelly still be caping for him too. You know what I'm saying? She still be caping for him. Listen, she's bleeding from everywhere. Do you understand? Do you hear me? She is bleeding from everywhere. Like, Trump crazy, man. Trump one of them type of people that's like, you had to actually like fight him if y'all had got in a fight, because he's just gonna get louder and keep repeating stuff. He one of them type of annoying people that just like they just get like locked on like a bot and like will just keep repeating stuff. Like, you will get into an argument, he'll be like, listen, you're dumb. You're dumb. I said you're dumb. You're dumb. Like, he'll just keep doing that. You know, so he's like, man, bro, I'm about to just knock your ass out. Like, what? You're not about to keep I'm dumbing me, like, you know what I'm saying? Man, he put his hand up to Kamala Harris like man, that I'm telling you, that was the only time where I ever appreciated Kamala Harris. Man, that's the only time she was ever real, because that was so funny. Like, she was actually laughing. He put his hands up like, stop laughing. I'm about to say something serious. They eating the pets out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he raised his voice like with he raised his hand and his voice with authority. Shut up. They eating the pets out there. Man, I was like, oh, this is a disaster. Like, man, this is a catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? I keep telling y'all, man, like the only way for Trump to ever present his best presentation of himself, he got to have somebody that he knows and love put a shock collar on him somewhere, and they got to be somebody that he really knows and loves, and they got to apply that shock when it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it like is he a live wire, man? It's lit. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, that's the only time I ever appreciated Kamala Harris. She had such a genuine smile and laugh right there when she was laughing at that, because it was actually funny. I was like, oh, that's what you look like when you ain't being fake. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was crazy, man. But yo, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. We picked up another weirdo, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, that's kind of weird. And then, like, it is what it is, right? So I guess there's that, you know what I'm saying? And Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't hit that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, take a moment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all coming through. Got some more content for y'all. Y'all know how I be, man. I don't know what be going on. People ain't rocking with me no more, but it's all good though. We'll, you know what I'm saying? We'll build it back up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,